It's only a sliver on the map, but essential. The country of Panama, linking North and South America, the hub of the Americas. Vibrant and warm and diverse. And this week, in the shadow of Panama City, golf takes center stage with one of the most significant amateur tournaments in the world at the Jack Nicklaus Design Santa Maria Golf Club. The 9th edition, back in this tropical playground for the second time. 108 players from 29 countries and territories set to chase the biggest prize in the region. On the line, a chance to play the Masters, the US Open, and the Open. It is pressure-packed and life-changing for the winner. They're bringing Latin heat in sunny Panama. The Masters Tournament, in partnership with the R&A and USGA, proudly presents the 2024 Latin America Amateur Championship. And another beautiful, warm, sunny day in Panama City. We were here 7 years ago. Playoff thriller won by Toto Ghana. It's a country of about 4 million with some golf history. Arnold Palmer won his second title as a professional here in 1956. 93 degrees. Stamina will be tested this week. It's humid as well. Santa Maria is a par 70. There's some trouble out there. A little more than 7,100 yards. Rich Lerner alongside two-time U.S. Open champion Andy North, former U.S. amateur champion Colt Knost. Iona Stephen played professionally and has broadcast around the world, and the inimitable John Sutcliffe will conduct the interviews. Let's go down to the 7th hole and our featured group. Colt Knost is down there.
Afternoon, guys. Miguel Ordonez drove it just through the fairway here at 7 and has a very difficult downhill lie. And with the wind helping Andy, it's going to be tough to get this ball up in the air and stop on the putting surface.
And it's a very, very narrow green as far as the depth of it. It's at an awkward angle. This is normally a par 5 that they moved up a set of tees, and they're playing it as a very difficult par 4. And there's a great look at the green. Not much room around the hole. Catch 22 here, Colt, that you're glad that's downwind, so you can maybe hit a shorter club in here, but you can't stop it.
No, I don't think he can go directly at the hole location. Anything short and right of that bunker would be fine. I think this is all about where can you leave it to get up and down for par on this difficult, long par 4. Yeah, this comes out very low, heading towards that bunker. Almost runs out, but ends up staying in it.
That'd actually be a pretty decent place to play, I believe, to that right hole location.
And we'll stay for Santiago de la Fuentes, one of the favorites coming in.
Very pure ball striker. The wind's got this one, though, headed a little right. Really solid start, though, Rich. 1 under par early in his round.
Quality player, All-America at the University of Houston. And now another one of the favorites. 2nd and 3rd the last couple of years from Argentina, Vicente Marcilio.
He's been knocking on the door the last couple of years. Time to walk through it. Huge tee shot, but just got through to the rough. But a perfect angle to this right hole location. Wind's got this one also moving a little right. Should catch a piece.
Well, Boy, Colt, that one just ran back through the green, and that's one of the big problems of this golf course, is why it's so difficult around the greens. The chipping and pitching will be a challenge. Getting your ball to stay on the level of the green that you want it to will be a challenge. It's going to be a great week.
Here are our featured groups. So it's Aaron Jarvis, who won it 2 years ago from the Cayman Islands and made the cut at the Open at the old course at St. Andrews in 2022. Jose Islas, a really talented player. He won the Mexico Amateur by 10 shots last year and reached the quarters of the U.S. Amateur. Christian Terceros as well, and then Ordonez, Marcilio, and De La Fuente. At the fifth hole, and Sebastian McLean.
Fifth hole's a par 3 that is playing 178 yards today. A lot of ridges and humps and bumps in this green. Get it in the right area of the green, you can do some good. And nice putt there.
And 1 under is a good score. Right now, 2 under is leading. So many parts of the United States getting pounded by snow, frigid temperatures. We don't have that concern this weekend.
No, it's a lot of liquids and sunscreen here this week.
Nice to be in the warm weather.
Yeah, beautiful place. And
well, it all got started at 7 o'clock this morning. Opening tee shot.
From Panama, Raúl Carbonell.
What a nice honor for the 24-year-old Panamanian.
Historically, they try to pick a player from the home country to hit the first tee shot. We saw him yesterday at lunch, and he was so excited. And said, I'm a little nervous. I hope I get it going the right direction.
Says it is his hope to inspire other kids in Panama. And they have a dynamic and growing junior program here in Panama. Raul went on to shoot 77. Now some of the highlights, and here is Omar Morales. UCLA hit that opening tee shot at the U.S. Open at LACC, and but for the double bogey at 7, a good start at 1 under 69.
He's got to be one of the favorites this week. He's the highest ranked player in the field. And how about the old man in the group, Alvaro Ortiz, 55 years old. Yeah, let's just start with a birdie. He's 1 under now through about 5 or 6 holes. So
the oldest
what a
player,
great start.
Oldest player of the field at 55. He loves it in Panama. He led through 36 holes in 2017 here in Panama and missed the playoff by only a shot. Now De La Fuente.
This is really a player that's got so much ability. He's got length, touch.
De La Fuente played the Palmer Cup last year in Pennsylvania, and in singles, he beat one of the best collegiate players in the game, David Ford of North Carolina. Now Marcilio.
Another player that's, I mean, he's had a chance to win here each of the last 2 years. Such a talented player. We've seen him grow up in front of our eyes.
It was a gorgeous shot. Marcilio got a chance to hang around for a bit at Texas Tech with Ludwig Aubert. Now, Arsu.
Yeah, how about his start? Birdie's 10, birdie's 11, and went on to birdie 12 to take the early lead at 3 under.
Yeah, Jose Arsu, 19 years old from Guatemala, playing at Harding University in Arkansas, and won a tournament, world-ranked tournament back home in Guatemala last week. So he comes here with good form. What do you make of the scores so far, Andy?
I think this is kind of what we expect. This is a big golf course. They've taken 2 of the par 5s and turned them into par 4s, so it's a par 70. So there are 6 or 8 very, very difficult holes here that if you can handle those holes, you're probably going to be okay.
Islas from Mexico.
Difficult hole location. Coming downwind just over the bunker.
At the 7th. So De La Fuente.
Quick one coming down.
Good look
the hill,
at the undulations on this golf course.
And that's one of the flatter greens.
They call him Santiago, moved from a small school, Arkansas Tech, to Houston. His goal to move up the rankings, and he's rocketed up more than 1,000 spots. He's now 89th. And now past champion Aaron Jarvis. Let's bring in Iona.
Good afternoon, everyone. Aaron Jarvis, third to play here. Straight down the breeze. Gee whiz, this is a tough green to find. A warm but very stiff breeze out here, like playing golf in a tumble dryer. Not what I'm used to.
And see the ball repel off the edge of the green. We'll see that so many of the holes out here.
Let's bring in Colt back at 7th hole.
Vicente just hit his second shot through the green and chipped back to here. Has a little bit of work left.
At the break.
Looks like about a good 6 or 7 feet, Andy. And these greens, like y'all said, very challenging. A lot of slope in them. All about leaving it in the right place this week.
Yeah, if your iron play can be spot on this week and you get it in these little areas, you've got a chance to make some birdies. But if you're on the wrong side of these ridges, good luck.
And in my opinion, this wind's blowing hard enough to affect the putts a little bit, so got to make sure you stay really stable.
This will get him back to even par, 2 birdies, and this will be a second bogey.
And now Arsu, this par putt at the 16th.
Yeah, this is another par 5 they turned into a par 4 for the week. And because of that, the 7th and 16th greens are very awkward. They're at interesting angles. They've got a lot of ridges and high and low spots in it because you're normally hitting a pitch or a short wedge to those holes. Now the players are required to hit some longer clubs.
I see a lot of this, players digging to make par. Now this is Miguel Ordonez.
And he hit a great bunker shot to about 4.5 feet. Great save and a fist pump.
Yeah,
he's played here more than any other player in the field. Knows the greens well. That's a huge advantage. But there's a lot of pressure being the hometown guy.
Well, he runs the instructional academy right here at Santa Maria. He's also the director of membership. He's a good player. He made match play of the U.S. Mid-Am 2 of the last 3 years. And won his opening match on each occasion, including last year at Sleepy Hollow in New York.
He broke on the scene 7 years ago when we were at the Panama Country Club, and he just played some great golf and had the lead the first day and stayed around the top all week long, had a top 10 finish.
So we were talking about Miguel Ordonez. By the way, 1 under now. 7 players are at -1, tied for the lead. So Miguel, he's competed in every Latin America Amateur Championship since the inaugural in 2015. As Andy said, more local knowledge than anyone here at Santa Maria. He's played hundreds of rounds around this golf course, and director of the academy. Here now more on the 40-year-old from Panama.
This is my 9th LAAC, which means that I'm one of the very few fortunate people that have been able to play all of them. There was 1 year during the pandemic in 2021 that was canceled. So this should be the 10th, but it's actually the 9th. And yeah, it's been such an unbelievable experience and opportunity for me to be able to play and see this tournament grow for our region, the Latin American region. I've been very fortunate to play a lot of tournaments in my career. I've gotten to play some of the best courses in the world, but this one is at the top of my list. I always circle it in the calendar. The LAAC will always be the most important tournament for me because of what it represents, because of what the 3 biggest institutions, being the Masters Tournament, the RNA, and the USGA, what they have done to come together to provide all the resources to have this tournament. It's just sensational. I've been able to travel around the continent, and I hope that it continues to grow. And I think I still got something in the tank, so I foresee myself being able, to play a few more. I don't know how many that will be because you got to earn it. Nobody gives it to you in the LAAC. It's got to be through your ranking in the World Amateur Golf Ranking. But I feel like I have a few in me, and obviously the great goal and the great dream is to be able to hoist that trophy and play in the majors.
How's this? At one time, he was a sportscaster. In fact, he used to call the Masters from a local television station. He loves baseball. He's a huge Cubs fan. He learned to speak English. He's good at it. Listening to Cubs games on WGN as a kid here in Panama City. He said his first words were Harry Carey's, "Holy cow!"
That's a good place to start.
He's among the oldest in the field, and he is one of 3 now to have played in all 9 Latin America Amateur Championships. We mentioned Alvaro Ortiz, Jared Dillas from Bermuda as well. Alvaro, by the way, has made the cut in 5 of the previous 8.
He is currently tied for the lead at 1 under.
Yeah. All right, now 2022 winner, Aaron Jarvis from the Cayman Islands. Got a lot of work left.
You just see that if you get some of the putts that are coming down the slopes and it happens to be with the wind, they become electrically fast. Just have to be careful. Really, really important to get your iron play in proper positions on these greens.
And tee at 17 is par 3. This is Arsu.
190 yards today. Wind helping, and this one is well out to the right. Back right hole location. That is going to be a really difficult up and in.
So this is going to feel like a good old-fashioned Andy North U.S. Open.
Yeah, love it.
And have to dig for pars and even a few bogeys, but tremendous excitement always. Day number 1 of this great championship, the Latin America Amateur Championship from Panama. The Latin America Amateur Championship is brought to you by Bank of America. What would you like the power to do? IBM, let's create. AT&T, we believe connecting changes everything. Mercedes-Benz, the vehicles are all electric, the feeling is all Mercedes, the choice is all yours. We are on the east side of Panama City. We're just 10 minutes from the airport, so it is all very convenient. And this is more than a link from north to south, east to west as well, sort of a compass center point, rows of the winds, all cardinal directions emanating from here in Panama. Think of 1519, the Spanish laid a road from the Pacific to the Atlantic, and 500 years later, here we are. And the Panama Canal. Marvel of engineering. Some drought conditions though. 30% fewer ships are being allowed through. Plans to expand it, a lake. Among the most famous engineering feats in the world, the Panama Canal.
Flying in here Monday morning, we circled back out over the ocean, came in from the south. There must have been 200 ships in line waiting to get in. Ours with a very, very difficult up and in at the par 3 17th. That's kind of what you'd expect. You've just got to make sure you don't fluff it, leave it short, set yourself up to make double bogey. Still has an opportunity to knock that 20-footer in to save par. I'm sure he was very disappointed with the tee shot.
Premium will be on what part of the game or parts of the game this weekend?
Well, I think there's a couple of good driving holes, but overall there's a lot of room. Here is the most difficult driving hole in the golf course. Some of the players will decide to lay up, as he's doing right here.
This is Islas.
Just keep it short of that bunker. It's about 250 yards short of the bunker. Or you can take it over it, and if you do that, then it turns this into a birdie opportunity. Most difficult hole when they had the AJGA here last year. It's the closest hole where the water really comes into play other than a par 3.
Let's bring in Iona here at the 9th with Terceros.
Out with the driver. As Andy was outlining, different options here at 9. A tricky hole. We've come straight down the breeze on 8. Now we're right back into it off the right-hand side. But these tall buildings on the right-hand side can make you feel all sorts of funny things on this tee. You're very, very sheltered in there where they're standing. And as soon as you get further down the fairway, you can really feel the strength and the direction of the wind. So it's catching a lot of players out. But they're all looking pretty composed and relaxed at the moment, flirting around the level mark, everyone in this group. Islas definitely the biggest hitter. He hits it a long old way. And our former champion here, Aaron Jarvis, also out with the driver. That bunker down the left starts around 250, 273 to carry it. It's a big ask today into this wind.
He'll love that one, and he needs it. Just made a double bogey at the 8th hole to jump to 3 over for the tournament.
It's going to be a tournament, Andy, where you're probably going to take one on the chin, a double bogey here or there.
Yeah, I think it's, you know, you made mention of it, that this is going to play like a very difficult U.S. Open type golf course with the wind and the fact that the greens are tough. You've got to eliminate the doubles, and if you make bogeys, that's fine. You can make some birdies, but boy, it's hard to recover from double bogeys out here.
Let's bring in Colt with Miguel Ordonez, 2 over par, playing the 8th.
And he just ran through the fairway, has 160 yards left, and once again has a really strong helping wind. And this pin just located 5 steps on the front of this green. It's going to be very difficult for him to stop it. Andy, you mentioned it. He's probably got one of the lowest ball flights in the field.
Yeah, and downwind, if he gets this 25 feet past the hole, I think that'd be a really good shot.
I think he would take that right now and not even hit. That's really good.
Yeah, that's just getting it on the green downwind. That was well done. Great look at really clean contact coming out of the rough. All ball first, that's the key.
Now Marcilio.
10 yards closer, 150, playing straight downwind, has a pitching wedge out.
That's De La Fuente playing some ready golf.
Yeah, smart play there, cannot afford to come up short. Big false front.
Now Marcilio.
I tell you what, his length is a huge advantage. Those bunkers were 300 yards to carry, and it was still rising as it went over the top of them. Has just 97 yards left.
Yeah, talked to him last night. Training harder, smarter, got stronger. Swing speed about 120, ball speed mid 170s with room to ramp that up.
This 8th hole is 461 today, so think that he's got 97 yards left. That was a terrific tee shot.
Oh, this is not a terrific wedge shot, though. Oh, my.
Oh, and it really settled down in the rough behind the green. That will be really, really dicey.
So Santa Maria Golf Club, it is one of just 13 here in Panama. Considered one of the premier golf courses in the region. Here now an overview of this Panamanian gem.
We are super excited to be able to host the LAAC in 2024 Santa Maria, Panama. It has been an effort of very many years from our ownership and partners from APA Golf.
We were proud and honored to be considered back in 2017 when we hosted the first LAAC here in Panama. We're proud and honored to be hosting it for the second time, and we hope that they keep us as one of their destinations every couple of years.
A lot of months of preparation, a lot of details, so it's not just maintaining your course as usual. It's a lot of teamwork, and I think as the week goes on, we will see that it was accomplished by everybody. So much from the Santa.
There's 2 different stretches on the golf course that have been identified, and I think they can be instrumental in this week at LAAC.
I think that the green compounds are sophisticated, to say the least, depending on how and where they put the pin locations. It's going to be interesting.
I think the most challenging part is going to be the putting. We have some long holes, but these young kids hit very far, so I think the challenges are going to be in the greens.
It's a dream come true for us. Ownership, the resort, and all the staff being able to host LAAC this year is going to be superb. It's an effort of many people for a number of months, and obviously goes to show the commitment that we have with the growth of the game.
Golf course opened in 2012. It was designed by the Nicholas Design Company. It's playing at 7,007 yards today, par 70. They're taking 2 par 5s that are holes that are normally par 5, 7, and 16, and turn them into long 4s for these players. And the stimp is 10 to 10.5, and they can't get it much faster than that because of all the slopes and the wind. If they've got these to 12 or 12.5, they'd be impossible.
Par putt for Arsu at 17. He's leaking oil right now, and Islas at the 9th.
Hole's cut in the back portion of the green, and that will be a difficult up and in. Everything seems to carry him away from the greens. No green to work with. It's a big knob in between yourself and the hole. Getting that on the green from there will be difficult.
Cristian Terceros, 3 over par.
Yeah, this is such a tough hole, 9, as I say, straight back into the breeze, water all down the right-hand side, and then this dangerous bunker, which is where Terceros has ended up, and unfortunately, he's awfully close to this lip, so he's not going to be able to get this home. He's going to have to use extra loft and just advance himself up the fairway. And that's just caught the lip.
Yeah, and that's a mistake you can't make. You have to make sure you take enough loft to get it out. So often those hit the lip and they come back at your feet. Now you really got problems. But he just barely got out of the bunker, but still not an easy next shot at all.
So again, swirling winds, undulating, massive greens. Quite a challenge for these young players. Terceros, 22 years old, from Bolivia.
Rich, it looks like the wind's going to blow a little bit all week long, so this is going to be a heck of a test all week.
Let's see what Marcilio can do here at number 8.
Good news is he's chipping back into the wind, can be aggressive.
Coming out of that lie called, that was well done.
Yeah, but he's going to be kicking himself with just 97 yards left. He didn't think he'd have to work for par.
And back to the 9th hole. And it's Terceros, third shot.
Bit of work to do then here. Mid-iron in his hand, flag up the back of the screen.
And that ball's well over the green, and another very awkward angle to get that up and in. To get that within 10 or 12 feet will be a good shot from back there.
He's gonna have to fight. And now Jarvis.
Any players with aspirations of getting their hands on a place to Royal Troon for the Open is getting some pretty good practice here today in this wind. This is off the downslope for Jarvis after a cracking drive, just a short iron.
I mean, another mistake. You just cannot miss long. Put it down the front part of this green and take your 2-putt from 40 or 50 feet. You can't get that super aggressive.
I didn't hit that hard either.
Back at the 8th hole. This is Ordonez to get it to 1 over.
Coming down the hill, moving a little bit to his left.
Pretty decent judge of speed coming off that ridge.
So the difficult golf course might play to the strengths of some of the more seasoned players, like in Ordonez. Knows the golf course. Don't need to shoot 23 under. That was winning score. Mateo Fernandez de Oliveira a year ago in Puerto Rico. Different story in the winds of Panama at the Latin America Amateur Championship.
And the ships waiting to come through the Panama Canal. We were fortunate enough to have a dinner down there the last time we were here, and it was absolutely amazing. Sit there and watch these ships. You literally felt like you'd reach out and touch them. You're that close to them. Downtown Panama City is just growing like crazy. Cranes everywhere.
Okay.
About 4.5 million.
Got it, yeah.
Bordered by Costa Rica on the north and Colombia on the south. It is a really banking capital of the Central Americas. Probably one of the most important cities in the Central Americas. So it is a lot of Americans are coming down here and spending a lot of time. A lot of people are semi-retiring down here. This is turning into their winter home. And we've got to look at the par 5 10th green with the city behind it. Obviously lots of trouble around this green, but a couple of good shots. Players can reach it in 2. But if you make a mistake, it can be a long afternoon on this hole. And here now we're going to look at the short par 4 11th. 297 yards to the front of the green, playing at 317 today, but with this wind direction, you see most of the players take it out to your right.
Outstanding website. You can stay connected to all the Latin America Amateur Championship action anytime, anywhere. Visit laacgolf.com and follow the championship on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Really good feature stories. Lots of photos, live leaderboards, all of it. Now to the 9th in Jarvis.
This is such a tricky shot to judge. Trying to land that on a sixpence to get it to stop below the hole. Starting to understand why this 9th is robbing so many players of shots.
Real pleasure to be joined in the commentary box right now by Panama's very own Omar Tejera.
Pleasure, guys.
Great to have you with us, Omar. How'd it go out there in round number 1 for you?
Man, it was a grind. I've been sitting here in the booth with you guys, just hearing about what you guys are saying, and it's spot on.
Listen, Omar, 5 over 75. You're not out of it.
No, I'm not. It just. I mean, we got to see what happens at the end of this day. The course is playing very hard. It's bouncing. The greens are rolling fast. Breaks are breaking a little bit more than usual. And this wind, now we're getting that north wind, which is typical from that from the summer. And when it starts blowing like this, you said it. You miss a green and everything just bounces away from you.
You've played a lot of golf here. You won a tournament here last year. Still, you're not. You go out and go 68 3 days in a row. Who knows what might happen?
Shrug of the shoulders right there, as if to say, you're not wrong, Andy.
Not wrong.
Let's talk golf course a little bit. What are the players facing right now? We've talked so much about the greens. Is that the most difficult part of this golf course?
Lines are hard off the tee box. You really got to pick them smartly. You can get into a lot of trouble because, balls are starting to bounce into some places. You can run out the fairways. Like, for example, Miguel did on number 8. He didn't hit a bad line. But the problem is that, as you were saying, it keeps out and goes out, and then you got no spin.
How about this putt from Jose Islas of Mexico?
The right or left, I'd say. Oh. Nope.
Well, the wind is now starting to blow hard enough, it could possibly affect how the ball's working on the greens.
I had a lot of those today. I had at least 2 or 3 putts that were breaking in one way, and really ended up breaking on another one, and that makes it difficult, especially when you know the breaks and you're standing on the little six footer that you've made a couple times, and it goes inside right, and then it goes
the other direction.
Yeah.
Is local knowledge a problem maybe this way? Is that a detriment? I can't believe that.
No, it's not. No, it's not. But you need to adjust.
Yeah,
and
absolutely. Well, and so often you play golf course a lot. Maybe the greens aren't quite as fast, or it's not as bouncy. Now in this tournament conditions, it changes a little bit. It's a totally different golf course for everybody.
Well, we never played these conditions. Maybe once a year when we play the Corn Ferry here in Panama, which is at Club de Golf Panama, and that's part of the challenge. Every day you play out here, you're hitting your drive, ball's not really rolling. You're hitting, whatever iron you're hitting to the green, it's spinning. And like number 7 today, I had 171 to the pin, hit really high 9-iron, flew the pin by 20 yards.
It's adjusting, constantly adjusting, and the wind is gusting a little bit, so it's not just a constant. Iona talked about the buildings along 9. That's affecting how the wind comes through there also.
Definitely, because it bounces around. And the same thing happens on number 8. You're in the fairway hitting into the green. It's downwind, but when you're looking at the pin it's moving right or left, and it's not really that's not really what's happening. But it makes you doubt.
So these players making the turn now, they've all struggled a little bit these last couple of holes. What do they have look forward? And the second 9 holes, what holes can they get after? Can they make some birdies on?
You see, number 10, for example, you could really go for it,
Here's a look at going from the 9th green to the 10th.
That's a nice little par 5.
Yeah, it's at least a par 5, exactly. But then the tee shot at 10 to me is one of the more critical tee shots of the golf course. If you can miss that bunker and still hug the right a little bit, it shortens the hole dramatically.
It does, but that's an
pretty
aggressive line. If I know Miguel a lot, for example, and he's gonna take it down the left, and I think that the guys who really hit it, they're gonna try to fade that a little bit of their left side. It really kicks down over there, and then if you end up squeezing it, you might have an iron in.
And the wind is probably helping a little bit from the right, so you might see some of the longer guys be able to knock it over that bunker.
Oh yeah.
Then that would make that pretty doable.
Yeah.
So, Omar, you've had 2 good finishes. This is your 3rd appearance. You were 22nd at Casa de Campo 2 years ago, 26th last year in Puerto Rico, 68th final round at Casa de Campo in 2022. Won a number of amateur events in the region. All-America at St. Thomas University in Miami 10, 11 years ago, and came away with a degree in business. And I know you've been very successful in that space in this region. So where are you competing in addition to the LATAM? Where else are you competing these days?
We're constantly, competing here in Panama with the ranking. We've done a very good job creating a place where, all of us can really compete throughout the year with a couple of really good events. We're putting a lot of effort into creating our own international amateur event, which is the Copa Rocky Galindo, sponsored by the Galindo family, the very big golfing family. They always really support. So last year we brought about 45 guys. We were able to get about 247 points on the Wagger. So it was a good event.
How much do you play with this guy? Must a lot, I'm guessing.
A lot. Yeah, Miguel is a close friend.
I suspect a few dollars have changed hands over the years.
Yeah.
Yeah, he really does hit it low. I think that's one thing that I thought would really be great for him this week, that he can get it underneath a lot of the wind. And
it definitely can be an asset, definitely. But when you're hitting into the greens this week, you do want a little bit of spin.
Yeah, he's going to have to hit some shots.
De La Fuente's a guy who came in expecting to win.
You just can't miss it to the left of that green where this whole location is today. From there, you've got no chance to get up unless you make a 10 or 15 footer.
And the thing is that on the right side you have no space either.
Yeah,
it's and then the angle is a very tough angle.
I thought that the biggest portion of that green is that front third. You just go ahead and play 10 yards on, leave it, and try to 2-putt from 30, 40 feet and get your par and go on.
It's just a hole where you just want to go through with a 4.
Yeah, any way you can get it.
Anywhere you can get it. Yeah.
This is Vicente Marcilio from Argentina. His countryman won it a year ago in Puerto Rico, Mateo Fernandez de Oliveira. He's turned professional, playing PGA Tour Americas now.
See, I like that play there. I really do like that play. It takes all the trouble back and left of the green out of play, and if you have to 2-putt from 60 feet, that's just part of the deal.
It's sensible talk from a 2-time U.S. Open champion. Colorful and beautiful culture here in Panama. We are underway, round 1 of the Latin America Amateur Championship.
So we've seen amazing culture here. The party last night was really great. This is an interesting city. Tell us a little bit about Panama and the fact that it seems like it brings the whole part of this world together right here. This is one of the central main cities in this part of the world.
Potentially is the main characteristic about what Panama is all about. We bring a lot of cultures together. We bring a lot of gastronomic cultures together. So that's basically what Panama is. It's a point of connection, and That's what we've seen through other years. Yeah, banking capital, yes, logistic, spot, but it's so much more than that. And at the end of the day, that's I think what makes it special. I live down here. I've lived here all my life, but I did spend about 4 years in Miami, and you sort of get that same vibe.
Same vibe, yeah.
Dynamic, is young, it's a very vibrancy.
Well, you mentioned banking. It really is the central spot of banking in basically Central and South America.
Yeah, I would dare to say, main place for Latin America. And, we put a lot of effort into creating that banking, as you said, like that banking hub, and put a lot of effort into making it very, very successful, very strong, with very strong foundations. And that's part of what made, Panama a sweet spot for doing business. You got a good place you can live. People speaks English, people speak Spanish. We got the dollar.
Yeah.
You can go anywhere in the world from here, basically, with Copa and some other airlines.
Now we are at the 9th hole. This is Santiago de la Fuente of Mexico. Tough shot here at the 9th.
Rich, you can't blame him for missing it left with that huge pond over to the right, but he's left himself in a very difficult spot. Very little green to work with. I think he might have to go the low route here, land this in the fringe, and one-hop it onto the green.
So he is just one of 2 players now in red figures. The other, Omar Morales, also of Mexico, in the house with 69, and that did include a double bogey. We mentioned that is likely going to happen over the 4 days.
I think he's right now enjoying lunch with his feet up, and he's in a nice position. I think it's going to be very difficult for anybody shooting under par this afternoon.
Of course, he's playing very tough.
All right, Omar Tejera of Panama, one of the leading Panamanian players, has joined us in the commentary booth, and this is another Panamanian, Ordonez.
It's got to get going. It's up a little slope there, and it just slowed it down. We talk so much about playing in the wind. How difficult it is the putt, keeping your balance, hitting it solidly when it gets blown like this.
Yeah, you got to pay attention to a lot of that. And just to get back real quick on that putt that Miguel had, because you were mentioning, that 9th hole, you want to be on that little front middle position, but it's a very tough 2-putt. Got to take a lot of things in consideration. And one of the things that I've seen the players struggle with, myself included, is that you got a lot of change in the green. Sometimes you're putting into the green, then it just goes down, and it brings a lot of trouble into it.
De La Fuente.
Looks like he's going to go up with it.
He did, opened it wide open, but that one got away from him a little bit there, guys.
There's not a lot of good options from over there. Yep. This past palm, here's a great look at the hit. Very cleanly hit. Club face stays open the whole way through. But
let's go to the 8th hole. It's our good pal Geronimo Esteve from Puerto Rico. He thought he was going to have a chance this week.
It's going to be a tough shot coming out of the left-hand rough over the bunker, downwind. If he can stop it within 25, 30 feet, it carried it a little bit far, but controlling the ball in the air right now, the wind is blowing hard enough, it's difficult to judge.
Especially if you're coming into the rough.
Now, Marcilio.
A little bit of ridge right in there.
Andy, I would have to think, y'all said it perfectly. With this hole location, during the practice rounds, you'd have to drop some balls down there on the front and practice to this back hole location.
Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense with the wind blowing as hard as is right and left to be so aggressive. We've seen quite a few players put it long and left and had no chance.
We're going to see a lot of those this week. And
yeah. This is like a major championship, U.S. Open type event that you're going to have a lot of 5 and 6 footers this week.
Yes, sir.
And whoever makes the most pars and the most 5 or 6 footers might end up walking away with the trophy.
Listen, for amateurs, this is major because winner will earn the invitation to the Masters, spot in the U.S. Open and the Open at Royal Troon. There's so much riding now that some of the competitors are coming in early, 2 weeks ahead, to scout the golf course, to play practice rounds.
But whatever they saw 2 weeks ago, I couldn't do
It's
it.
not the same course, is
This
it,
is not
Omar?
the same course.
I mean, it's not unlike playing a regular tournament. The wind blows a certain direction Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and Thursday it's the other way. You have no idea what to do.
Omar, how significant has the investment by Augusta National and the governing bodies been for the region?
Oh, it's been great. You know, and just to talk specifically about what we're doing with the LAAC, you know, it's grown the game, but that phrase gets thrown a lot in there, you know, like, oh, growing the game. Listen, you know, kids are playing more golf. They want to be here. They want to compete in this event, because when you throw in those 3 events that you just mentioned, they just want a chance at it. And the truth is, you got 4 days to qualify for it. You know, I tried to play in the US Open, as you did, Andy, and I tried several times doing the 2 qualifiers they do. I got very close once. It's very hard, and when you have to do it twice, you know. So now, you know, you get 4 days to make it. You're a kid, you can dream.
You know what I love about what's happened here too is that you look at the number of youngsters that have been able to play here. They're seen by a coach in the United States, and the number of these guys who are going to school in the U.S. now. That was a great 2-putt.
Yes.
That's huge. He needed that one.
That is a big one.
It's that kind
Makes
of
you
day.
turn it 2
we're
over.
fist pumping on a Thursday. You know it's tough out there.
But you know what? That's the kind of putt that now he makes the turn, and
Birdie 10, maybe birdie 11, and he's rolling.
He's in the right momentum. He's in the right mind, in the mind place, you know.
Wow, that was beautiful.
And by the way, the other one of the other Panamanians, Samuel Duran, 17 years old, I thought held up well today. Was a little nervy at the start, but he played his last 11 in 1 under to get in at 76. His dad, Miguel, and they're the first family of golf in Panama. Dad Miguel's the president of the Panama Golf Association.
They've been doing a lot of job to grow this. Samuel, you know, he still is playing as a junior, and what Miguel has done and the rest of the federation has done with the junior golf here in Panama is amazing. I remember back when I was 15, 16 years old, we probably were about 20. If now you see these junior events and they're over 50 kids, you know, and so and it keeps growing. Rankings, mid-amateur events we have, you know, right now it's close to 2,500 amateurs in Panama.
The federations have done a great job, not just here, but the surrounding countries of creating events that get world ranking points. And now it's important. Every tournament you play in, you can move up in the world rankings, which guarantees you to get in here, and probably a lot of other events around the
Well, we're really paying a lot of attention to that and talking in between the federations into seeing, okay, what events we can do, how can we improve them, can we do some joint events, how can we make them bigger?
You know, also we talk about so much how the improvement of play and the access to the younger players has sure changed. But you look at how people set up golf courses. The superintendents are learning from this event. The agronomy is improved. Every course is getting better. It just helps the whole entire world of golf.
It's all conducted at the highest standards. The food, the hotel, the media, the course conditioning, and the welcome reception from last evening. We were down at historic La Campana ruins, the old town, Panama City, really exciting spot. I mean, it was just so beautiful. 28 Latin American countries and territories, the dignitaries, opportunity to enjoy the finest local culture and cuisine, and it all concluded with Miguel Ordonez toasting the competitors with the pledge of fair play. Wasn't that a great night, Omar?
Phenomenal. The food was awesome. The place could not get better.
And also, the host of the evening did a really nice job. Well done, Rich.
And it's always a privilege to be here. I tell people this is one of my favorite tournaments, the Asia Pacific Amateur Championship that I do. I do a lot every single year because of where we go, people that we meet like Omar, the friends that we've made, and it's the level of gratitude that you feel from the competitors. all the expenses are taken care of because the governing bodies and Augusta National did not want cost to be an impediment. And so you really feel that gratitude.
We saw Stevie hit his second over the green, pitched back to this point. Just you start missing greens in the wrong places. You've got where you have to pitch down over a ridge or a hump. They're just hard to get it closer than 8 or 10 feet. So you're going to see a lot of putts that length.
I see if Aaron Jarvis can bounce back. This is third at the par 5 10th.
See, here's the thing. I finished around.
Yeah, so this is what Omar was talking about. Augusta National, Pinehurst #2 in June, Royal Troon for the 152nd Open, and as well, don't forget, Ballyliffin in Ireland for the amateur, then Hazeltine National for the 124th U.S. Amateur Championship. Unquestionably, it is a life changer for the winner. So Omar Tejera has joined us in the booth. Tough opening day here in Panama. 1 under is leading the Latin America Amateur Championship.
They're all running right at you.
I'm paying attention to it.
Yeah, there's a lot of those black circles.
Phenomenal job. This is
I'm
great.
looking into
great.
Andy, you can miss on the wrong spot here, man.
Oh,
you can't, and that's
just
what
can't
we're
do
seeing
it.
here. You know,
you have to be so smart in where you put your shots, and that's the key. We're going to see, and I don't think it looks like the wind's going to blow. It's going to be warm all week long. So the afternoons are going to always dry out and get firmer and bouncier, and it's going to be a great test of golf this week.
Yeah, and the wind's not going to stop. I was looking into the Weather Channel before, looking into what was going to be, and it looked like it was going to continue blowing at 20, 22 all afternoon.
Yeah, that's a lot. Isn't that a beautiful look down at the 10th, the par 5 that works its way around? Oh, all right. Your guy. So he will go left of the bunker, I'm sure.
That's my call.
And watch the trajectory. We've got a great look at this, how low this starts out. He doesn't launch it up in the air like a lot of these guys. He hits these low bullets. Gets
a little draw of that white tent in the back. Jesus.
Yeah, just a bullet right at your tent. That's perfect. Absolutely perfect. Just going to run past that bunker. He might have the firepower to get there from there, but it's the kind of on the edge.
It's just a matter of...
Do you want to? I don't think he can keep it on the green if he hits it in there with a...
The way it's blowing, it's very hard.
Yeah.
And the thing is that you need to hit a high fading shot into the green. Anything that goes through will skip down and potentially go out of bounds. So it's a tricky shot.
Yeah, in looking at that hole, if you aren't comfortable where you can keep the ball on the green, I thought if you could put it 30 yards left, we're in the fairway. It got a nice angle to chip and pitch.
Terceros right here hit it in the water on his second shot. And this at the par 5 10th, so this one's getting away. Let's bring in Iona. She's down there following.
Yeah, it's been a tough little run here for Terceros. As you say, left off the tee into the water with a second, dropping for 3. So now playing 4. The wind's just settled down. That's a good shot.
That still has a chance to save par. That would be an amazing par. But this is another green that if you miss it long and left, the ball just repels away from the green, and there's a cart path and then out of bounds down there. It could sneak in there.
Inside 100 yards is not bad either.
No.
Marcelio.
This man can absolutely move, and taking it right over that bunker that's about 295 to cover.
Oh, it did, just barely. It must hit right up in the very top of it. He's a little bit of a downslope, but he's in the fairway. He can absolutely move it.
Now we're live on the 10th green.
It's a real tricky putt for Islas. Here in two after a monster drive, up and over a ridge from left to right.
That's the problem with so many of these ridges, Iona, that it's hard to get the right speed ever because you're going up and down and right and left.
Into the green, down the green.
Yep.
Yeah, the confidence of this group has well and truly been rocked, Andy. It's been a tough couple of holes.
And De La Fuente on the tee.
I talked to his caddy Pepe before the round. He said, my man is ready to go this year. This is a beautiful tee shot.
Yeah, he's got a lot of game. That ball carried over the bunker easily. He 4 or 5 iron maybe left.
Maybe a little more.
Yeah, but I would bet he'd get there with something like that.
And Alvaro Ortiz, Costa Rica.
Unfortunately, Alvaro was 1 under through the first 5 and doubled 6 and then also doubled 7. So that's a big putt to make it at 9 or 8 for par.
So we talk about possibly 40-year-old Miguel Ordonez contending this week, or Geronimo Esteve. You see beauty of this game, Omar. 55 and 14 can compete on the same stage. Gustavo Giacomech from Brazil shot 80 today. Alvaro, again, was 48 and had a real good chance at it 7 years ago here in Panama.
He plays well pretty much all the time wherever he goes. He's made the cut here pretty much most of the years he's played.
Former professional who had his amateur status reinstated in 2006. Played college golf and won tournaments in the early 1990s at Texas Wesleyan. And now Jarvis at the 10th.
Nice 2-putt from down there. He had to come up over a ridge. Yeah. Making pars is an adventure right now. Just see how many pars you can make.
Matias Dominguez will always be able to say he won the inaugural Latin America Amateur Championship. And Chile's won 3. I think that was surprising. In fact, 3 of the first 4. Argentina, with the deepest history in the sport of golf in the region, finally got on the board when Abel Gallegos won in Mexico, and then a year ago, Mateo winning in Puerto Rico. Alvaro Ortiz is now playing professionally as well. Remember that final round 66, and there's sort of a pattern that's been established. Players contend, they come close, they don't get it done, they return, and they finally break through to win. Niemann was a runner-up to Ghana in the playoff here in Chile. He shot 63 in front of the home fans in Santiago to win. Ortiz had been in that playoff as well in 2017. He wins in 2019, and as well Fernandez de Oliveira had come close before winning. And some nice messages here from some of these past champions to today's competitors.
Hola amigos, ¿qué tal? Le habla Matías Domínguez, ganador de la primera edición del LAAC el 2015. Les mando toda la suerte del mundo, tremendo campeonato que se les viene.
El LAAC ha sido una experiencia increíble para mí, obviamente me ha abierto muchísimas puertas. Es un torneo increíble, probablemente los top 3 de mi vida, entonces disfrútenlo, jueguen muy bien y mucha suerte.
En una semana increíble como es lo del LAAC, es casi jugar un Major, lleno de cámaras, la atención increíble, así que muchísima suerte y que gane el mejor.
Aprovechen esta semana, disfrútenla y que esta experiencia los marque de buena manera para sus carreras, tanto profesionales como personales.
Bueno, nada, ganar el LAAC y jugar 2 Majors me cambió la vida
Así que nada, quería desearle suerte a todos los aficionados que van a jugar el LAAC 2024 en Panamá. Desearle lo mayor de los éxitos y un abrazo grande a todos.
What it means to me is the world. I mean, for us to have the opportunity to play in this event and to have the chance of playing in majors and so forth, it's going to be a great opportunity, and I look forward to playing in my third LAAC and hopefully have a chance to win it.
Creo que cada oportunidad y experiencia me enseñó de forma diferente diferentes aspectos de mí y de mi juego. Creo que nada de todo eso obviamente hubiese sido posible si no hubiese participado del LAAC.
So we are at the 10th now, hoping to join that group of champions at the Latin America Amateur Championship. De La Fuente
has 240 yards left, 220 covers in line.
Great shot.
Yeah, that's really well done to get the ball on that green. He's going to have that difficult putt we just saw coming up over a ridge, down through a valley, back up over another ridge. Judging the speed, so difficult, but beautiful shot.
Now Vicente Marcilio up against that skyline of Panama City.
And Andy, what made that shot so impressive by Santiago is you really have to commit to this, because with that water right, it's so easy to come over the top of it, pull it long left, but out of bounds, it's just over the screen.
You know, you get into that position, 240, 230, you got an iron in your hand, you're going to go for it. You know, you're not going to go and hit pitching wedge to 100. You know, you got to go for it. But it's a very tricky iron shot. There you go. He brought a little left.
This could be trouble.
Oh,
that one needs to take a seat.
It did. Hit very softly. Hit kind of in a low, flat area. If it lands on the downslope on the back edge of that green, it's gone. But from there, again, there's so many difficult pitches around these greens. It's hard to get it close.
It's just easy to do that.
Yeah, you're bailing out. At the last second, you just won't trust it. It's a good look. Maybe just gave it a little tug at the bottom. There's that little devil in your head that's telling you not to do something.
I mean, in my case, it's not a little devil, it's a big fat one. It's the drivable par 4 11, Jose Islas.
I imagine there's going to be a bit of sting in this one.
You see, I see a lot of guys trying to do that, and to be honest, with that wind,
oh, what a shot!
It's very hard. You know,
my gosh, that was a good shot.
What he just did is very hard to do.
I mean, it's 297 to carry it. He carried that ball right at 300 yards. On a, boy, that was really, really well done.
Islas has a ton of game. Mentioned that he made it to the quarterfinals of the USAM last year, where he lost to Auburn's Jason Butler. So this is the 9th edition, coming from 28 countries and territories. Chile, we mentioned, has had a great deal of success. Panama for the second time. That speaks to Panama having the facilities and the wherewithal and the ability to do it the right way. 72 holes of stroke play, and there will be a 36-hole cut. And now, third shot at the 10th for Miguel Ordonez.
And Rich, this man is well traveled. He's played some of the best golf courses in the world. Was listing off some of them for me before the round. Chicago Golf Club, Winged Foot, Marion. Played his first ever Crump Cup at Pine Valley, which is one of the most prestigious amateur events. He gets around.
That's a shot I've seen him play a lot of times, and he usually does it very well.
Yeah, it's very smart play. Laid up over here, has a nice angle to attack this hole.
Yep.
Is the back portion of the green holding? Can he throw it all the way over that ridge and get it all the way back there?
But it's you got a wedge in your hand. The wind is blowing a little from the right. You can get aggressive, but you really gotta have some spin control on it. Can't really throw it high up in there. You can get caught up, end up short.
He's pretty good at driving these wedges in lower with some spin on them.
And that's what you need to do, and just barely cover that little ridge over there.
Yep. So I'm guessing he can carry this up 3-4 yards short of the hole, maybe.
Yeah, he has 111 yards. Needs to make sure he carries it at least 105 to get up on top. This one needs to go.
That's going to spin back down in that lower area. Yeah, he's not happy with that one at all. That's right in his wheelhouse.
They have all come back to the early leader. Omar Morales of Mexico plays college golf at UCLA. Mentioned he had the distinct honor of hitting the opening tee shot at the U.S. Open at Los Angeles Country Club last June. After his round, he talked with John Sutcliffe.
Gracias con Omar Morales. Am I saying it right?
Yep. Yeah, totally right.
Take us through the first round, your sensations about this first 18 holes.
Yeah, I mean, I played really well, really solid golf, all 18 holes. I had a little hiccup there on 7 where I made double, but other than that, I was, cruising 3 under through 8 holes and had a lot more in the tank. So looking forward for these next 3 days.
You've been under the pressure of leading a U.S. Open and major. How much does that experience help you today?
Oh, totally. I think 100% it has helped me not only today, but future tournaments after that occasion to just stay in the present at another level and, very helpful.
How hard is it not to think about the Masters, el U.S. Open, the Open Championship? ¿Es difícil? Is it hard no pensar en ello?
Yeah, I think it's totally hard not to think about it, but at the same time, you just got to stay within yourself and hit one shot at a time. And I think if you get into a good rhythm, it's good not to think about it. If you get into a good rhythm, then, you won't think about it a lot.
Buena suerte.
Gracias.
De Puebla, México, el joven Morales.
So he is the highest rated player in this field according to the World Amateur Golf Rankings. And while this championship lost some of the top 40, 50 players in that ranking, it is deeper down into the top 200 than they've ever been. Speaks to what's happening across the region. Hit that opening tee shot at LACC. Also played the Mexico Open. Vedante on the PGA Tour missed the cut by 1, 67 round 2, so he can go. Now third for Marcilio here at the par 5 10th.
Going with a very straight-faced wedge, which is a little surprising.
Well, that was a classy shot, bouncing it, let it slide up over that ridge. Well done.
Sonny, you won 2 U.S. Opens. John was asking him a question exactly about, your thoughts, first round, you're leading. Can you tell us a little bit about what helped you did what you did?
I think it's real easy to say just stay in the present, try to hit the shot you're getting ready to hit. But that was something that I felt like I could do quite well at major championships. I thought better and thought probably was able to grind harder when you're at majors, and I liked the idea that you had to shoot, even par was a great score. Yeah, that was something that fit my mentality, and I really enjoyed that part. But, if you can stay in the present and only be thinking about what you're doing at that point, I think it sounds simple, but it's really hard to do, particularly under pressure.
Yeah, you saw that fist pump from Geronimo. This is exactly the kind of championship he was hoping for. There's an eagle putt, a good effort from De La Fuente. He did not want to have to chase guys like De La Fuente on a more benign course to 15, 20 under par. He thought Geronimo did that he would have a chance if it was somewhere in the 5 under par area.
I think the fact that this type of golf course and the conditions we're going to play probably plays into a more mature, older player that's seen more conditions and been around it a little bit more and knows that I don't have to go out there and shoot a really good score. I can just get it around.
Like this guy. And it's a birdie putt.
Watch out for that one.
What's this one do?
Well, he may make it.
Is that a prediction?
Yeah. Oh, I know him too well. I think there's a chance in there.
Oh, did you get it right, Omar?
Oh, great.
Wow.
Nice. Yeah, that's really the strength of his game. It's his short game around the greens, putting. He's so solid.
So Omar, what's the scene like? I mean, just you're not competing in an amateur event. Good games out here at Santa Maria or at the Golf Club of Panama? Just
all the time.
All the time.
All the time.
Here's Islas, long eagle putt.
people like playing here.
Yeah, and Golf Club of Panama will host the Corn Ferry Tour early next month.
In about 2 weeks, I think. Yeah.
You're going to play there?
We'll see.
Now this is Vicente Marcilio at the 10th. This birdie putt.
That was a heck of a pitch shot from short and left. This is about 8 feet moving to his left. Got to give it enough speed.
Oh, man, it just dove the last foot.
So staying in the present, Andy.
It's hard to do, but I was able to raise my focus at majors and get locked in a little bit better, that I wasn't nearly as good in normal weeks as I was at majors. So.
And then when the mind started thinking ahead, how do you pull yourself
How do you rein
back?
it back in?
Yeah.
That's hard. I think everybody has little games they play in their head, but I thought it was important that you maybe have some conversations with your caddy that had nothing to do with golf. Maybe you're talking about a football team or a basketball game or something else that was going on. And in doing that, when you came back, I think it was easier to get locked in on what you're doing.
Right. He'd like all day to talk about his Green Bay Packers. Shocked the football world by destroying the Dallas Cowboys.
Can it happen 2 weeks in a row?
Too soon, Rich.
All right, birdie putt now for Jose Islas.
This would be a really nice two-putt from the front of the green. Great tee shot, really good two-putt, beautiful birdie.
Great birdie, yeah.
And the 11th hole really is designed to be a hole that the architects thought you could drive it up around the green. It's not just move the tee up and call it a drivable par 4. It was actually built for this.
Aaron Jarvis could use it.
Oh, there
Try
you go.
to claw his way back. He played the Masters a couple of years ago, made 2 at hole number 12, both the first and second round. Aaron Jarvis, and then as we mentioned, went on to make the cut. The old course at St. Andrews made it on the number by shooting 369 on day 2 with Sergio Garcia and Stuart Singh, 2 former major champs. So here now are the invitees for the Masters tournament. Christo Lamprecht, we saw him had the lead briefly with 65 day 1 at the Open at Liverpool, 6 feet 8 inches tall. Georgia Tech, South Africa. Nick Dunlap has a ton of talent. Runner-up at the USAM was Neil Shipley. That was exciting. Stuart Hagestad was just one of the all-time great mid-amateur players. And then I was down at Royal Melbourne to see Jasper Stubbs win in an absolute thriller. He made some clutch putts down the stretch, and we're a long ways from Australia, just as pretty a spot here in Panama.
Depends. If I'm not sure if that's San Blas Islands, or I don't think so. That sort of looks more like Boca Toro, or maybe somewhere in the archipelagos.
Yeah, I got it.
Pacific.
So could you get there by boat from here, or would you?
Yeah.
They're beautiful. And what a beautiful downtown. In 7 years, I was surprised how many more big buildings have been built in the last 7 years. When we got here, man, it looked like New York City flying in.
It does.
But this is I think maybe my favorite hole in the golf course. This 11th hole gives you a lot of different opportunities. Oh, this is 12.
This is 12.
Yeah.
And the pin position we have today is something that makes you think a lot. Because a lot of guys, and the same thing happens on 11. Stand in the tee box, you're thinking, okay, I can get it in the green, and you think it's automatically a driver, but not really. Same thing happens here. Now he's pulling potentially a 3 or a 5 wood to try to be short of that bunker in the left, I think, and that's actually a great shot into that pin.
You want something full because the hole's cut just over the bunker on the left and on a little downslope.
you need to be able to spin it.
I watched some guys there early this morning without the wind blowing, and it was really tough to get it close. Oh my, that.
If you bomb a drive and you end up 70,
got
60,
no chance.
you got no chance.
Yeah. Yeah, to give yourself a full sand wedge would be perfect. Something you can spin, you can hit hard.
Something between that 130, 110 shot, you can control the spin, you can get it high up in there.
Yep.
Anything closer than that, you're battling it.
Well, for more information on the exciting Youthful Initiative, where kids age 7 to 15 have the chance to compete at Augusta National, go to drivechipandputt.com for more. Always love that. You're 7 years old, you look up at the leaderboard at 18, and there's your name, right where we saw the names through the years of Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson and Arnold Palmer and Jack Nicklaus, and keep going.
That would be pretty amazing.
Can't say enough about the good work they're doing at Augusta National. They're almost evangelical in their belief that they have an obligation to grow the game around the world. And here we are in Panama. Is Hector Ortega of Paraguay.
Anybody that's in the red numbers right now is doing some special things out there. And he's going to have a little bit of work to do to stay there. We're going to see a lot of these putts this length, the 4, 5, 6 footers.
Islas at the 12th.
Really takes discipline, I think, to hit a utility club or something to lay up here, get up there and think, if I can drive it 40, 50 yards from the green, well, then you've got no chance. And this ball's long and left. You need to have it in the fairway. Playing the rough's not very long, but it's just enough that you can't spin it.
But you gotta have a very disciplined mind. This is what we're talking about. You're better off just understanding that you need to spin it into the spins, especially when they're tucked the way they are.
You've got a lot of options here at the 11th. You can lay it up in the 210 to 220 range. You can hit it 250. Oh, here it is. This par 4 11th. One of my favorite holes in the golf course. You see some players lay it up just past that 100 marker on the left, or you take it down here as far as you can. We'll see some balls on the green. Not a bad spot as 30, 35 yards short left of the green, so you're working right up the angle of the green. I think the most difficult hole location today is on this back right-hand corner. It's a little shelf that's about the size of 3 pool tables hooked together. Hard to get it back there. You're going to see some interesting putting. The different colors in the green, that's a different direction the grain's going. So the top light where the pin is higher. Everything else slopes back down away. Just a beautiful, lot of options, whatever you want to take on.
We'll stay right here at 11.
See if Miguel can make a birdie here.
Well, Andy, you mentioned how small this section is. I mean, if he gets this up top, it is an incredible iron shot.
Yeah, even though it's
and that's what he's saying, because I was trying to pay attention to what he's saying. He's going to the middle of the green. He's going to try to play a little cut shot, and he just said it. If it's in the middle of the green, I'm there, trying to get 2 putts.
Yeah. That's a guy who's played here a lot that understands the difficulty of this whole location. I'm not so sure if he flew it all the way in that top, if it would stop back there.
I think going back into the wind, it will stop. But if he hits his number, I mean, he's going to have inside of 15 feet for birdie, but would not be surprised to see this on the lower level in the middle of the green.
He's such a good putter. He thinks he can make it from down there.
Yeah.
This one needs to get up.
Get there.
Oh, that's a big mistake.
That could possibly have buried in the face, maybe.
Hope not.
Yeah, if it's a decent lie, it's not a bad spot. He can get it up and in.
If it's not plugged, he's really good at the bunker play. So, yeah, I would think he can really get it up and down.
guessing the wind just got more of that than he thought. 2 wedges in a row that he's come up short on holes that you expect him to do his thing.
But that can happen in those wedge shots because the angle you're hitting into, it really narrows down towards where the pin is, and so you start trying to like kind of guide it, you know, and that's when you don't really hit it fully and you get short.
And the disappointing when you play to your strength and then you don't pull it off.
Okay, this is Hector Ortega now tied for the lead. This to save. Good work right there, and he's playing with some confidence.
Yeah,
he was
good
runner-up
confident
at the
stroke.
Match play back in his home country of Paraguay in December.
Nice clean card. If you eliminate the mistakes out here, try to make a lot of pars. If you happen to hold a 20-footer for birdie, that's awesome. Great angle on this one.
So Andy, what's your read about cut line, top 10 at the end of the day?
Oh gosh, there's no idea yet.
It is that really hard to read it out.
Well, I think especially here, we'll have a better idea at the end of the day. As you know, you were disappointed when you got in with 75, and when the day's all over with, you're going to be okay. That was well done.
That was very well done.
Yeah.
And Andy, I think with this hole location being on that shelf, I like pushing it up here today.
I mean, I think it really, that angle he had really makes this a much simpler shot than trying to pull it in there from 90, 100 yards. Absolutely. Just better make sure you hit a good one.
Now Marcilio.
Well, he hit a great tee shot, found the front left part of this green. But he's got a good 75, 80 feet, and I think he's got to hit it up there close to the fringe. I think he would do really well to get it inside of Santiago's approach shot.
I agree.
So he started at North Texas. Their coach left. He decided to go into the transfer portal. He's now at Texas Tech. Ludwig Aubert has now gone professional. Was a superstar at Texas Tech. Well, Vicente didn't have a chance to interact with him a whole lot. However, and this is what he told me last night, when Vicente came back from the Eisenhower Trophy, which was played in the Middle East last year, he went back into their training facility at Texas Tech, and Ludwig was there. Again, he hadn't really met him yet, but Ludwig knew exactly who Vicente was. He came over to him. He said, Vicente, I've heard a lot about you. How'd the Eisenhower Cup go? Just to sort of underscore what a good soul Ludwig Aubert is. And Vicente told me he's had a chance to watch him hit balls. He said he doesn't miss the middle of the face.
Yeah, he's a terrific star. I mean, he's going to be big time. That's well done from down there.
Putt.
And about the same as the pitch shot.
You can see how he's considerably fitter physically than he was a year ago, and he said he worked really hard on that aspect of the game. He works with the trainer who's in charge of the football team at Texas Tech.
Good lie.
Yeah, I was very fortunate for it not to plug. Pretty straightforward.
He's a really good bunker player.
Wow. That's a little uncommon.
All right, Aaron Jarvis now, second shot, 12th hole. That's a pretty good shot right there.
That's a really good shot to be able to have that much control on that ball, landing on the downslope over the bunker.
And back to the 11th. And Colt, nice to be back in Panama. I know you played some golf here through the years.
I have. I played the Corn Ferry event down here a couple of times. Always had a great experience. Just such a fun city.
And what's the capital city like, Omar? You live here?
I live here.
Yeah.
Like I told you, a couple of days ago, very dynamic, full of life. You can do a lot of things here, and one of the things, at least I like the most, it's you have a lot of choices for where to go to eat, and it's fantastic, as you've seen. As I was telling you as well, you want to go to the beach, 2 hours away, Atlantic or Pacific.
You can swim in both oceans in the same day.
In the same day. Yeah, you can.
Yeah. And then you can go to the San Blas Archipelago on the Caribbean side. That's 90 minutes by car. Pearl Islands on the Pacific side. I've been there. That is gorgeous.
Unless you have one island for each day of the year, so you can spend some time here and enjoy yourself.
So that's a kind of a bad bogey right there. Now Arzu at number 3.
Yeah, par 3 today, really a brutal hole. 221, back into some wind. Did you handle that one today?
Andy, if you would have seen the up and down that I made in that hole.
That's a good shot right
Where'd
there.
you miss it? Where'd you miss it? To the right?
Short right.
Over that mound?
On that side, and it was in the rough, a little plug, downhill. Jesus. But I put it up to 6 foot and made it.
Oh, and you ran off that green.
Yeah, am I running?
Here's Islas at 12.
This one could be chipped in. You don't get many straightforward little chip and runs like that out here.
You see, Andy, the key here is just to miss on the right spots. I ended up with a 75 today. It didn't feel like I was playing for a 75.
Yeah.
I just put some shots in the wrong places.
You had no chance.
And you have no chance.
Yeah.
A little disappointing right there. Good look at birdie, but still 1 under par, 104. After 1 under and tied for the lead.
With the wind blowing like it is today, there are no bad pars out there.
You're right.
Everyone you can put up there is fine. Obviously, you're a little disappointed not taking advantage of the great drive and great pitch.
Green's running about 10.5.
Everything kind of, from that spot, kind of drags off to the right.
Marcilio to join the group at 1 under, and he does. Vicente Marcilio.
I think we need to watch out for him. I think he is on a mission after being runner-up in 3rd place the last 2 years. He looks like he is going the right direction.
Yeah, long talk with him last night at the welcome ceremony. He's a really bright young guy. He's engaged, thoughtful, organized in what he wants to do this weekend with his future. Now Jarvis for another birdie.
The grain is a real issue too. Past Palm has a little bit heavier grain than you see a lot of times, and the putts were that one looked like the grain just took it and took it hard left.
There's some slope in there too, but definitely pushes it.
Yeah.
See, that number 12 hole. Maybe I'm not saying it's the last birdie opportunity because it's not, but I guess one of the easiest ones. But then you're starting on that last stretch, those last 6 holes, especially now that the 16, it's not a par 5, it's a par 4. It becomes very hard.
I really like the 12th green. I think it's one of the better greens out here. It doesn't have quite as much crazy stuff in it, but it's just got gentle.
Yes.
Marcilio said he's been working on keeping his right elbow a little closer to his body, used to fly away.
And he's one of the few guys in this field that carries a 2-iron. Going with that, just trying to stay short of this bunker down the left that's 260 to get to. Well, he's watching this one closely.
I think that's going to be just fine.
That is perfect.
Yeah, basically a driving iron that, with his length.
That was some tee shot here at the par 3 third. This is Arzu to get to 1 under par. Just a gentle nudge, and we're seeing an awful lot of fist pumping on day number 1.
Well, every putt you make here is a great putt. The short game skills will be either exposed or shown off this week.
Guatemala having a day here at the Latin America Amateur Championship. And now De La Fuente.
Rich, we used to joke that Thursday fist pumpers go home Friday night.
Gets that Latin passion. Thursday to Sunday. De La Fuente right there. Won 2 tournaments at Houston already.
Well, Cole, on days like this, when you're making those putts, you really need those fist bumps, man.
This tournament's just a little different, a lot on the line.
All right, Ordonez.
4 straight hole, water all down the right side.
And he likes that one. Quick snatch of the tee.
I think he needs something positive here happen here. Not a single birdie yet, 3 bogeys, so he's just grinding along, but a couple of birdies and he'd be in an awesome position. Beautiful view of downtown Panama City. It is a growing metropolis. So many things to do. Great restaurants. Good golf here. You know, it's pretty simple to get here from America. We need to get more Americans coming down here on vacation. Come down and play golf. And there's a good look at downtown. Yes, they have traffic issues just like everywhere in the world. But it is worth it. Great city. We've been here a couple times now, and the restaurants are incredible. The weather's always good.
Which ones have you tried?
I don't know the names of them. I just always come out with something really good. We're going to Maito tonight. Yeah,
you're gonna enjoy it. Yeah.
So, but it's a great spot for golf, great spot to sit in the sun, and really, really a difficult golf course today.
Well, Andy, we'll be happy to have you here.
Yeah, it's a good spot to hang out. Got some holes that you can make some birdies coming in, but boy, there's some tough hole locations. We've got a lot of hole locations tucked 3-4 yards from the edges. I mean, as you're saying, once you get 13, there's not many birdie opportunities.
I mean,
this is Tercera set 13. And we are live, first round of the Latin America Amateur Championship. Iona Stephen is down there.
Yeah, and another fairway here for Tercera, so he can breathe a sigh of relief. Left himself a long shot in here, though, at this 13th, the par 4.
That was beautifully done. Just on the very back edge. Tough hole location, get it close to.
That's going to be a very tough putt. Going into this last stretch, you may have a shot on 14 and 15 at a birdie. Then the other ones are going to be a grind.
And this ball sitting up nicely for Miguel Ordonez at the 12.
Yeah,
good shot.
That was really a smart play. Just a little left of the hole. Didn't have to land it on as much downslope. Ball stopped very nicely. That was a terrific play. Maybe birdie number 1.
Bring in Cole with De La Fuente.
Yeah, perfect tee shot, 110 yards left. These fairways are perfect. Ball sits up on a tee. Should really be able to put a lot of spin on this from here.
It took a lot of discipline for him to lay back here versus just blasting it down. Like he could have got it within 40 or 50 yards of the green.
This one just a little right of it.
But look at that, playing out of the fairway with a full shot with a sand wedge. You put some spin on it. Well done.
Yeah, he has good hands, a lot of moxie, not lacking confidence. Hector Ortega from Paraguay. This for par at the 14th. Think about Paraguay. Guy you played some golf with, I'm guessing, Carlos Franco.
Oh, absolutely. Guy never hit a practice ball. Just go to the tee, move a little bit, and pound it about 320 down the middle.
One of those guys, like Bruce Litsky, just made it look easy without seeming to work too hard at it. Back to the 12th, and Vicente Marcilio of Argentina.
Rich, this might be my favorite golf swing in the championship. Just so simple. He flushes it. Just 94 yards left. This is green light all the way. Oh, this one might need to spin. Oh, gosh. That's 2 sand wedges inside 100 yards. He's absolutely butchered, Andy.
Yeah, and that ball's creeping further away. Got to take advantage of those great tee shots.
So right now, the opening round here in Panama, 5 players in these swirling winds are at 1 under par, including this young man from Argentina, Vicente Marcilio. He has some work to do to carve out a par at the 12th.
Omar Morales, the lowest ranked player in this field. He is in comfortably while the other players are scratching and trying to survive the rest of this day. Very, very difficult golf course today. Some difficult hole locations. You can't miss the ball in the wrong spot. You can be 50, 60 feet away and be much better off than 15 or 20 feet in a lot of cases. Is there any chance the wind could die down a little bit this afternoon, or is it going to just keep humming the rest of the day?
Maybe towards 4:30, but not much. Usually when it picks up from the north, usually stays on.
I went out late yesterday afternoon and it was blowing really hard at 4 or 5 o'clock. But a beautiful scene, great golf course, and what a championship this is. Best players in Latin America. So many going to college in the States right now. The opportunities are endless. How much fun would it have been to have this when you're 17, 18 years old?
I knew that question was coming. Andy, I wish we had it. You know, when I finished college, my first thought was, all right, I need to start getting some experience into the professional, and the only way to do it, I guess, properly in some way was to turn professional and just go and try to grind it around on development series or mini tours on the Latin American tour.
So many more opportunities, and when these youngsters get through college and come on tour, they're really ready to play.
Yes.
All right, 12th hole, Vicente Marcilio tied for the lead.
That wasn't such a bad spot in there, Andy, but if he would have gone farther down, potentially 5 more yards.
Well, Arzu after the birdie at the 3rd, here at the 4th.
4th hole, another good par 4. Wind should be helping out of the left. Oh, another really good shot. Can we go back to back? That would be pretty special. 3 and 4.
De La Fuente after slinging that wedge shot in here.
Is this going to try to slide right a little bit? It just wouldn't go.
It's very tricky.
The wind might have helped hold that out.
That's a putt that it really seems like it's going left to right, but really doesn't move too much. It's almost like it's inside left, and you gotta hit it with pace. If not, you sort of miss it.
He was right there at the finish when Aaron Jarvis won 2 years ago at Teeth of the Dog, Da Casa de Campo.
Really a talented player. We've seen him disappointed with a couple of misses here the last couple of holes for birdies, but he's given himself great opportunities.
He's the American Athletic Conference individual champion. Houston won the team title as well. Now Ordonez to get it back to 2 over.
There's a very worthy fist pump. Nice birdie, first one of the day, back to 2 over.
Tell you what would be pretty cool, Omar, is the two of you could be paired on the weekend for some meaningful rounds here in your home country.
That's precisely on my mind, Rick. I've been looking into it, into the leaderboard, thinking about, you know, what needs to happen for me in my round tomorrow, and just gotta go out there tomorrow and make some really good committed swings. Hopefully we do have that you're saying.
Right now there's only 14 players better than 2 over, so they're working your direction. Nice up and in.
While we have a moment, let's go down to John Sutcliffe. John.
Rich, it's almost been 10 years since we were in the first tournament in Buenos Aires, Argentina. If something I've noticed is how many kids have seen that the road to finding good golf is education. Now we have about 65% of the players that go to university or are committed to university. And also today, I talked with Chairman Fred Ridley about his message about giving back to the game. Somebody did something for you to then give something back. So I think it was wonderful. And then I also have a very special message for Andy North. Andy, it's gonna be 10 años, 10 years, yabba-dabba-doo. Like the Flintstones, you can have your big T-bone steak, medium rare with chipotle next year in Buenos Aires. So prepare yourself, Andy. No room service. You're going out with a Mexican.
Why don't you have the picture of the last time we were there, John?
All right, so you're wondering exactly what John was talking about. Here it is, the announcement today that the 2025 Latin America Amateur Championship will be going to Pilar Golf, where it all began, Buenos Aires, and it's, where Matias Dominguez of Chile won that year.
Alejandro Tosti had a chance on the very last hole.
He's now a rookie on the PGA Tour. He won on the Corn Ferry Tour last summer. So I was in Buenos Aires for the announcement 10 years ago of the Latin America Amateur Championship. And it was there that I met the most prolific Latin player of all time, the late, great Roberto Di Vicenzo, who, how's this, Omar, 50 years ago won his 5th and final Panama Open title. And now we're back, and a new generation of Latin players are chasing their dreams. I'll never forget what Di Vicenzo told me. I asked him about the scorecard incident at the 68 Masters, which cost him the playoff with Bob Goalby. And he never pointed the finger at Tommy Aaron, who had written down 4 instead of 3 at the 17th hole. And Di Vicenzo said to me, "Best mistake of my life." And I said, "Why?" He said, "Because money easy to make, your good name not so easy." So that's important for all of these young competitors to remember. Di Vicenzo was then given the Bob Jones Award for sportsmanship by the USGA, and he touched all 3 entities that are behind this championship. Won the Open at Royal Liverpool in '67, where Bobby Jones won the second leg of his Grand Slam in 1930, and then USGA with the Bob Jones Award. And now Marsilio. Speaking of Argentina.
Oh boy, another drive. It looks like he just absolutely hammered. No roll at all. Still would have carried the bunker. That's a big drive back into the wind. About 280 yards.
And now the birdie putt for Arzu. Plays his college golf at Harding University in Arkansas. This for the lead. So, Omar, I mentioned DiVincenzo. Who were some of your heroes growing up in this region?
Well, definitely DiVincenzo was one of them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everything you mentioned is spot on. We grew up also watching Camilo play here in Panama, so as young kids, you know, we always look into it and say, you know, okay, there's someone who's making it. You always saw also, you know, Angel Cabrera from Argentina, you know, won the Masters and all that. So, you know, we've had a run of really good Latin American players throughout the year, and here in Panama, which is one of the things that I believe we were talking about. There's been some great names that have played and won here in Panama, and hopefully we can keep writing that history.
All right, Ortega to tie for the lead, and he does. Andy, you won a tournament. I know you played quite a bit professionally here in the Latin America region. You won in Argentina, didn't you?
Cordoba. Cabrera told me the story that he was like a 9 or 10-year-old learning how to caddy and walked around and watched me play the whole week. That's pretty cool.
They all came out of the caddy ranks.
Absolutely.
Right now, it is 1 under par as the number, and Omar Morales of Mexico plays his college golf at UCLA in with 1 under 69 on a day when the winds and the greens, the firmness, making this quite a challenge. It is day 1 of the Latin America Amateur Championship. Those are some good moves. I like the
That's great.
kid in the middle right there in the blue shorts. We're going to see him. We're going to see him teeing it up in the Latin America Amateur very soon.
So Andy, Cordoba, Villa Allende?
Very cool. Well done.
Cordoba, Villa Allende? That's where you played?
Argentina, yeah.
Fantastic.
A billion years ago. What kind of... Well, start them young, get them interested, and have some fun. You can't get in a lot of trouble out on the golf course with a bag on your back chasing a ball. That's the beauty of what's happening in this part of the world. The growth is just fantastic. It's a par 3 14th. That is a very difficult hole location. If you get it past the hole there, good luck on 2-putting from the valley over in the middle part of that green. How'd you handle that one today?
I actually misread the club selection.
Sure.
But I was long. I made good 2 putts. I believe that if the wind's not blowing so hard, that may be one of those birdie chances you have in the back nine.
And they were looking down. This is the 14th right below us on the left. Then 15, a shorter par 4 going back through the homes. That is a great birdie opportunity. Both 14 and 15, the greens are both diabolical greens, that if you hit a good approach and get it in the right quadrant, fine. If you're in the wrong quadrant, that's going to be a tough 2-putt. But you were right in the middle of this development. It's a beautiful, beautiful area. Tons of new condos being built.
And it doesn't
some great
stop,
shops, and it doesn't stop. As long as those ships keep going through the canal, there's always going to be stuff happening here.
One of the home favorites here in Panama, Miguel Ordonez, 2 over par and only 3 back.
And this is a mean par 4 here. This from 206. This one headed left towards the bunker.
If he's got a decent line there, there's some green to work with. Should be able to get that one up and in.
Jose Islas at 15.
Going with driver. There's different ways to play this hole. We've seen some of the players in practice runs laying up short of those bunkers, or you can just blast it down there a mile. And he has hit a couple of tee shots. That turns that hole into a birdie hole.
Another player from Mexico, De La Fuente.
This group just got told they are on the clock, so De La Fuente going to go ahead and play.
Oh, get up all the way to the top. Is that going to stay there? That's a good shot.
Yeah, get a mark on that. And now Vicente Marcilio of Argentina.
He has 189. And Andy, I think a lot of these high scores are because of these hole locations. They've been very difficult.
Yeah, that's one thing I thought this morning, Colt, that looking at these, there are a bunch of them that you had no chance to get close to the hole. And if you miss, when they're on the edges, if you miss it over this green, or there's so many places it's so difficult to get it up and in.
So Vicente Marcilio trying to make it 2 in a row for Argentina. A year ago we were in Puerto Rico. What a championship we had with Mateo de Oliveira delivering an emphatic victory for Argentina.
When I was walking down the fairway coming into the green, I almost got in tears. From now on, basically my life has changed.
That will do it. Mateo Fernandez de Oliveira of Argentina has won the 2023 Latin America Amateur Championship.
Everything is so motivational. The amateur dinner, all the practice rounds, the par 3, competing against the best of the world. Everything is just so motivating that I'm really looking forward to it.
I know firsthand that there's a lot more here this week than just the pros. It's about what we're celebrating here tonight.
I'm very excited to get the week started. I'm trying to enjoy every second that I get to play. So I really want to get started, but I also want to enjoy.
For me, it's like a dream. I can't believe it that he is here.
It's magic. It's magic. I think it's better than everything I watch in TV. It seems that you are dreaming.
I don't think there's anything that comes close to the Masters. I've been dreaming about playing the Masters all my life, and now I have the chance to do it. So I think it just motivates every single golfer in the region to get better and to be ready for that week so that they can have their life change too.
How about that? He's turned professional. He's playing the PGA Tour Americas now, primarily in the Latin region. You know, Andy, so many players tell us they watched the Latin America Amateur Championship when they were 8, 9, 10 years old. That is a potent recipe, the dream of a child, support from others, and then suddenly, the path to a whole new world opens up.
You've got to have dreams. You've got to have heroes. All of us are like, oh, sorry about this one. This is diabolical.
He got all of it.
But that's not an easy up and in from there either. Coming back down the hill, those sprinklers might be a problem. This is just brutal. So unlucky.
That's a young man's shot, Andy. Right there.
No, that's when you're playing with your friends. Just reach it out there and pull it out. No, I don't think so. Thank you very much. Done that one before. Great camera work.
Shot that Marcilio has. That putt it ain't easy. You got a lot of slope. You got to fight the grain.
Then it should get really quick.
Yep. Did a very good job.
Well judged, yeah, very well judged from down there. That could have thrown that 4 or 5 feet by pretty easily.
5th hole, and Arzu, one of the early surprises here from Guatemala.
We saw him hit a great iron at the 3rd, which is playing more difficult than the 5th. See if he can get duplicated. Another great shot, well done, just over that ridge, and there it goes. My goodness, that's still halfway makeable because it's in at least the right quadrant.
Yeah, you got an uphill putt in there. You can go aggressive at it.
Let's see if Miguel can do something crazy here.
Get the pin.
Yeah, it's disappointing. After a terrific drive, pulled the iron just a little bit and got a bad break, and gives back the shot he just earned on the last hole.
So planting seeds, and they are producing around the world. This was Jasper Stubbs of Australia, winning the Asia Pacific Amateur Championship fall of last year at Royal Melbourne. He made some clutch putts late. What a golf course, beating Wenyi Ding, Samson Zhang. And the 2024 Asia Pacific Amateur Championship is going to Japan, Taiheiyo Club, the Gotemba course right up against Mount Fuji. You played there, Andy?
I've played there. It's a beautiful golf course, and the kids will absolutely have a blast there. They'll be really tested. It's going to take a great player to win, but it's a really cool experience.
It's south of Tokyo, about 90 minutes by the bullet train. De La Fuente.
A par at 13 never hurts you. That's a tough hole.
So you see the Asia Pacific Amateur, this week the Latin Am, so Augusta National, the governing bodies, USGA, RNA, they all have skin in the game. They're building these big tent events and ensuring there will be pathways from the elite amateur ranks to the professional level all around the world. So there you see the dignitaries, and just how serious they are about the great game of golf in Japan. Love it.
I was fortunate that I made a lot of trips over there early in my career, and it was absolutely amazing how much people, 50% of the people at that time that considered themselves golfers never played on a golf course. They just went hit balls in a net.
Boy, that is really disappointing. Bad break, second shot. That's a double bogey that is going to sting. And now for the solo lead, this is Arzu.
Well, he's one of the few players is making birdies out there. He's made 4 of them today already.
Rick, you were talking a lot about what the governing bodies are doing, and the truth is that this tournament really inspires, man. I'm not playing as I used to before. I don't have the time, but I surely make some time to try to get prepared for this, because when it comes this week, you really want to be there. You really want it.
And now at 14, this is De La Fuente.
They moved the tee up. It's playing 166 yards. He's hitting some quality shots.
I know the RNA is investing in programs, golf programs here in Panama. High on their agenda will be to grow the game for women, young women here in Panama.
Yes, they are, and they're working closely with the Golfing Federation to try to get that done. We're trying to also get the girls to compete also in the same ranking sometimes with us, just to elevate the game.
Mm-hmm.
And we do those mix up, and it really works.
Marcilio.
That 166 back into the wind, playing closer to 175 right now. That's a smart shot.
On that same spot, Rick, so the RNA has been helping us build this tournament in Central America called the Copa Volcanes, which is the countries of Central America, the main 5, the best players of each country, and we all go compete. We have a team competition and we have an individual competition, sort of like the South American Amateur Championship, sort of say. And it just really pushes you. When you have this tournament, there's a lot of emotion. At the end of the day, those emotions, they inspire you to really, really dig deep in your, find the motivation, find that passion, put in the work, and when you come here, man, you're gonna grind. I can tell you, I know Miguel. He's a really good friend of mine, and he right there, he's thinking, I gotta get this done, and it comes from that. It comes from saying, you know what, I want to be here in the weekend. I want to compete. I want to try to win this thing.
And I truly believe with these conditions this week, if a player were to have a round of 73, 74, 75, they still have a chance, because it's not going to get easier. And there's a very unusual shot out of Miguel, and that will be another tough up and in.
Well, Andy, when I got here, when I finished my round, I was 58th in the field. Right now, plus 5, it's 36.
Yeah. You sit here a little bit longer, it's going to get better.
I might just stay for a whole transmission.
This is Omar, this is a really strong debut in the broadcasting booth. I'm going to tell you that. We're loving having you with us.
I appreciate it, guys. It's an honor.
It's been a fun first day. Tough one. We're going to continue to follow Panama's own Miguel Ordonez here. Day 1 of the Latin America Amateur Championship.
Let me. To make a par save here.
Ordonez is really reeling right now. He could use an up and down. Coming off the double bogey.
That's going to be the story of the week, Andy. 6-footers, 5-footers, big break, small breaks, grain.
You're going to have to keep your patience this week, big time.
It's a family affair here this week, Andy. We have 4 brother tandems. Ducrouet, Jean-Paul and Jean-Louis, Franco and Benjamin Fernandez, Aaron and Andrew Jarvis from the Cayman Islands, and then Lucas and Simon Ressler from Chile, younger brothers of Toto Gana, who won here in Panama in 2017. Vicente Marcilio. Get there? Not quite. So he'll stay at 1 under and in that 6-way tie for the lead. So it's Argentina, 2 from Mexico, 1 from Paraguay, Guatemala, Colombia. this was a Toto Ghana. They got rained out, but they have the picture. Toto and Lucas and Simon, the brothers at Augusta National. Toto professionally playing in this region still. That was one of the best Latin Ams we've ever had, just in terms of excitement here in Panama.
We had 5 or 6 players that had a chance coming down the stretch and ended up a 3-way playoff.
Right. That featured Joaquin Niemann and Alvaro Ortiz.
And Toto hit it a foot to win.
Right. Ortega, and that was played at Panama Golf Club. This is a bogey putt for Ortega. So that will drop Ortega to 1 over par. And Juan Mayor of Colombia also just made a bogey, and so we're down to 4 at 1 under par. Ordonez could use this one. Stay at 4 over.
This is a must make at this point.
Hold the line. Yeah. All
Good
right.
putt. That's how tough the conditions are when you're grinding away and you're giving it little fist pumps on day 1 just to stay in the game.
Let's talk about the 15th hole where they're headed, Andy.
Yeah, this is really a cool par 4. The wind be into the players from the right. You have a couple of choices. You can hit it about 250 and lay up short where you've got a great big wide fairway, or if you can carry it 275, you can carry it over the bunkers and get it down there where you've got a short iron. This green is the most difficult green in some ways. The highest point is right in the middle of the green. The front goes back to the front, but once you get over that ridge, everything goes back off the back of the green. So you need an iron shot and keep it short of the hole here. Do not go long.
But Andy, one of the toughest things in that shot is reading the wind on the second shot, because you're feeling it down like into you from the right, and then it's really pushing those buildings in there, making it swirl, and you're hitting right at it, and you may just end up short in the bunker. You try to push it too hard and then
hit it over, and you got nothing.
And you're looking into a potential 3-putt.
Yeah, there's 3 or 4 holes out here where they've got the tall apartment buildings near the golf course, and it does affect the wind flow dramatically. We saw that back at 8 and 9 particularly.
Yes.
Omar, we said that Miguel plays quite a bit of mid-amateur golf in the United States. How much do you get to the U.S. to play and compete?
I try to go as much as I can with him to the U.S. Mid-Am, or we're thinking about trying to ramp up and trying to play some more events. Sometimes it's just a matter of trying to coordinate too many things. Right now, I'm in the business. We're growing, we're expanding, we're going to the States, and there's a lot of things happening, and it takes time.
And what is your business?
We're in travel assistance.
Okay.
We assist.
There's a couple of great 2-man events the USGA has. You guys should try to do that.
Yes, that's what we want to do.
That'd be cool.
Let's see. Maybe this year I can make it up and try to go to US Mid-Am. That's something that's high on my agenda.
That would be great.
It's another way in to the Masters.
It's another way in.
And the U.S. Open. De La Fuente. Let's bring in Colt.
Listen, Rick, any way in is a way.
They carried over the bunker and stopped dead.
De La Fuente, Marsilio look good right now. And they were right at the top of the list of favorites coming in. Now, Arsu, second shot at the 6th.
This is a birdieable hole today. Only 357. If you put it in the fairway, you get a wedge in your hand, you can do some damage. Do not want to miss that green to the right. It runs right off the green. That was a very smart play.
It's the 9th playing of the Latin America Amateur Championship. 108 players representing 28 countries and territories. Great mix on the leaderboard. Day 1 from Panama.
look at some highlights of what's happened today. Here's Morales finishing up on the last hole. Nice little par. Get in at 1 under 69. And he has very comfortably had lunch, probably has his feet up, maybe watching a movie this afternoon.
We played together against Smashes.
What a great putt from down below at 11.
That is not an easy putt.
No. How about Marcelio at the par 3 third? This is a tough par 3 today. 221.
Oof.
That is pretty tasty. Best shot of the day. And par 5 second. De La Fuente laid up perfectly and just took advantage of it. Nice little tap-in birdie, get the day started.
We are live at the 15th with Miguel Ordonez. Let's bring in Colt.
Didn't have the firepower to cover that fairway bunker, but drew a really nice lie. Has 129 yards left. The lip should not be an issue. All about making proper contact from here, Andy.
Yeah, this is about judging the wind, as Omar is telling us. It's very difficult to judge. It swirls around these two buildings.
What a shot. I love it.
We got some fist pumping over here sitting next to me, too.
Only for my boy, man.
That was a great shot. If he knocked that one, that gets him back to 3 over. Maybe make one more coming in and get in at 72.
That was Sandy Lyle-esque.
That was
Augusta
a fantastic shot.
Masters. Marcelio.
Big drive, just 112 left. Oh my, catches the front bunker. He's disgusted.
See that ball from Ordonez, great fairway bunker shots. Recent vintage. Country Club at Brookline, Matt Fitzpatrick at the U.S. Open. Breeze kicking up down there, Colt?
It's been pretty constant all day. It's just tough to figure out if it's straight across or back into their face.
A little low shot. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, he just gave that a little chip. That was beautiful.
He's got those shots, Andy.
He's got a lot of game. I'm really impressed. He's hit the ball as well as anybody today.
All right, now birdie putt at 6 for Arzu of Guatemala.
Just coming down the hill. Just got to be careful not to give this one too much. This is pretty quick. Just losing it off, and it's trickling, and all of a sudden it's one of those 3 or 4 footers he's got to clean up.
7 golf courses back in Guatemala. 1,500 registered players. They had a good year in 2023. In addition to Arzu players like Gabriel Palacios, Miguel Leal, Jose Toledo. So you look at this, best performance by a Panamanian player. That would be Miguel Ordonez right here. 6 years ago, you had 22nd, 26th. So I know how much you guys have put into this.
Try and improve that. Miguel had a great run in Club de Golf. He grew up all there. We're both members in that place. Right now we have the Corn Ferry event going on in there. I think it's the toughest event on the Corn Ferry.
Well, it was, 3 under, made a playoff. Yeah. And in fact, it was Sam Saunders with Pearson Cootie winning.
We've done a lot of improvements to the golf course, and it's made a lot of the difference.
Marcelio.
Oh boy, he caught way too much ball. There's a slope back there. Just a huge mistake after a perfect tee shot.
Cootie against Saunders. That was the battle of grandsons of Masters champions. Yeah. Charlie Cootie and Arnold Palmer. Arnold winning in 1956 here in Panama, the Panama Open. That was his second professional win ever. Think about Sam Snead won it in 54. Doug Ford, Art Wall Jr., all Masters champions. Arnold, of course, also winning the U.S. Open. And then DiVincenzo, we mentioned, won it 5 times, and he's an Open champ.
I think Curtis Strange won down here, too.
He did.
I believe.
Yes, he did.
It's nice to get national championships any way you get them.
Back in those days, I believe the golf course was in Parque Omar, which today it's a metropolitan area. But now, back in Club de Golf, as I was telling you, we've put a lot of effort into improving the golf course. It's made a lot of difference. It's playing longer, plays par 70 on the Corn Ferry, and it rebuilds you. And that's one of the things that these kids, the other 6-7 players in the field from Panama are taking advantage of. They get to play on a course like this or Club de Golf where it's very tough. You gotta hit the shots. You gotta really learn how to play the game.
I think talking to USGA and RNA folks that were helping set up the golf course this week, they wanted to really test these players so that, one, you got the best winner, and two, for these youngsters understand what really difficult golf is, and it's only going to make you get better.
We try to do that a lot. You know, when we start doing the setup for the ranking events, for the Copa Roque Galindo, for, you know, every single tournament that we do here in Panama, we really put a lot of attention into playing with the tee boxes, hiding the pins, and you know, it helps you. It gets you prepared to this type of events.
And Andy, that's part of what the USGA is doing as well. You're now on the executive committee, is providing the expertise in terms of agronomy, course setup, the highest standards of championship play around the world.
Well, you're talking about improving the game. It's not just the playing. There's so many other facets. The business part of it's very important. And we've seen in the 9 years of this event, we've seen so many positive changes. It's heartwarming, and it's exciting to understand what's coming.
And we should give some credit as well to Tito Mata and the ownership group right here at Santa Maria. They have built an excellent property, hotel and golf course, spa, restaurant, outstanding amenities and service. And we've been really well looked after all week. All right, now, after that sensational fairway bunker shot, Ordonez.
Rich, he's got to just get this ball going. It is so fast coming down the hill.
See if we get a fist pump here. No, wasn't committed to that one.
It's so fast.
Yep.
It's hard to make a really solid putt when you know that it's fast, and you don't want to run it 4 or 5 feet by, so you kind of ease into it instead of still accelerating. You still have to accelerate.
Had a great shot though, didn't he? Out of the bunker.
Well played, absolutely. But he's got some work now finishing these next few holes.
We were talking about the ownership group, Rick, and you know what they did, what the directors in Santa Maria did, you know what Apagol did to try to get this tournament built the way it was an enormous amount of work, and you see the commitment on it. The guys just really trying to push and get this golf course ready. We as Panama, you know, we wanted to show the world that we're ready to host this type of events. That we can get the best players here professionally, as we do in the Corn Ferry, or as an amateur, and really test their games.
And the hotel here is fabulous, and the fact that the kids can just fall out of bed and go to the practice range. And here's the tough 16th. Brutally long par 4, because it used to be a par 5. They've turned it into a par 4 for the tournament. The bunker really doesn't come into play. If you can hit it about 288, 290, you'll get somewhere near that 150-yard marker. With the wind helping out of the left, you'd probably be able to hit it down there and maybe hit a mid-iron or 7-8 iron, something like that. But really a tough hole location, all the way in the back right-hand corner. If you miss this to the right, it runs off the green. Something in the middle of that green and just putting up and taking a 2-putt probably isn't the worst scenario.
You see, Andy, I think I'm slipping too many secrets, but the truth is that it doesn't. It feels downwind, but it's not. it really pushes from the left, and that sort of tricks you when you're hitting the approach into the green.
Again, there's some buildings around that area
Yes.
that really affect the wind currents. They moved the tee
That
up a
fairway
little bit
also was
today.
narrowed. It used to be wider. We brought it in potentially about maybe 5 or 6 yards.
There's a couple of tee opportunities here. They're using the 507 tee today. Combination of a front tee but a deeper hole location, so still well over 500 yards. That is just looks like it's smashed.
You see how
the wind gets it, takes it to the right. Perfect position. Yeah, we were told that a couple of months ago there was no rough, and they've done a great job getting it, the fairways moved in, making it a little bit tighter, making it a little bit more important to drive the ball in the fairway. The rough is just enough to limit the amount of spin you can have.
you see, Andy, I missed the fairway just a little bit on the right in there, and the ball. I had no way of putting it in the green. I think it was a 6-iron in it. Cannot even move it about past 150, 160 yards.
Something that he does exceptionally well. Another fairway.
There you go.
Now Colton Rosilio.
Been driving it beautiful all day. And this is a guy, when he showed up to North Texas before he transferred to Texas Tech, had clubs that were all over the place. Length were all messed up, lies, lofts, everything. The club manufacturers were amazed how good he was with the clubs he had.
That one might get to the right-hand rough. There it is. And that control is going to be an issue, getting it back to that hole.
All right, Islas at 17. Iona?
Yeah, on the tee with an 8-iron. This par 3, the penultimate hole, playing a little bit down the breeze. Flag all the way at the back. Takes a lot to get it there.
17 playing 190 today and stayed up on top of that ridge. Another foot or two, it goes all the way down to the left and gets pretty close. That's a big 9-iron today.
Has some polish to his game, Islas. So too does this guy. Everybody impressed with Vicente Marcilio of Argentina. Right now, 3 at 1 under par. Morales setting the early pace with 69 at the Latin America Amateur Championship.
Now we have Ortega for his just a moment ago. Birdie chance. Can he get it? Oh, just slides by the hole. That looked beautiful going down there. He's playing some good golf. Anybody that shoots 72 or better today has played one heck of a round of golf. Unfortunately, double bogey at 16. We've seen 7 and 16 just grab players, and you just cannot miss it. It's from the back. Look back from behind the green at 16. You see there's holes cut way in the back portion of that green. Here's another one of those par 5s they've turned into a par 4. Arzu, after a beautiful tee shot, wind helping, so it's playing much shorter than the 470, but that doesn't matter. It's still hard to get it on the green. Hang on, hang on, hang on, hang on.
It's crazy. Back to Panama City and Santa Maria Golf Club, round 1 of the Latin America Amateur Championship. Here is the Panamanian Miguel Ordonez at the 16th, and Colt Knost is there.
Found the dead center of the fairway with his tee shot, but has 2. His longest iron is a 4-iron, so I would expect that's what this is.
Just getting this on the putting surface would be a good shot. Looks like it's headed left.
That one hops into that
right in the middle of the bunker. Has a little bit of green to work with, but that will not be easy. Down slope coming in there. He's hit 2 or 3 pulls with his irons today.
Vicente Marcilio.
Can he control the spin coming out of the rough? That's a big question.
Asking for it to bite.
What a shot.
Sensational shot.
Best shot by far we've seen at 16. To make a birdie there is like a shot and a half on the field.
Santiago de la Fuente.
Hole is just, the flagstick is just a little bit to the left of that TV tower in the distance. Anything on this middle to back part of the green would be good. Didn't like it at all. Ooh, that's caught the bunker in the way it splashed in there. That one, oh, it's okay. It came out of the plug mark and it's down on the bottom. 2 interesting bunker shots coming up.
You see the double T on that black golf bag right there for Vicente Marcilio, Texas Tech, Red Raiders. There he is. And that's the school that just delivered Ludwig Gobert.
We've seen a lot of really good players from down in this part of the world that have gone there to play.
Yeah, Matias Dominguez, the inaugural Latin America Amateur Champion, went to Texas Tech as well.
He recruited a lot of his friends to come with him.
Well, look, the college coaches all have eyes on Latin golf now. Number of players going to the University of Arkansas. That's where Mateo Fernandez de Oliveira played. Alvaro Ortiz.
5 or 6 kids who've already committed to go to the States that are playing here this week.
Yeah, the leader, one of the leaders, Omar Morales, who was 69, plays at UCLA. Isla spent a little time with Casey Martin at Oregon. Now back in Mexico, just kind of doing his own thing and doing it really well. This guy's polished right here. He plays quite a bit of golf with Abraham Answer, lives in San Antonio and Mexico City. Also Gabby Lopez of the LPGA Tour. Now Arzu, 7th hole.
Up the hill, hang on.
Oh, wow.
What a run. He is really playing some good golf. Didn't Gabby just get married? I think over the Christmas break, yes. See, I'm locked into all this stuff. I know nothing.
16.
Ordonez will be first to play. It could be on a little bit of the downslope, but he's got a little bit of green to work with. Terrific bunker player. He's going to get this up and in, isn't he?
Come on, buddy.
That was a pretty sporty
yeah,
shot.
Very well done.
good.
If that carries maybe another 6 inches, it doesn't kick to the right. But
And
that's
it goes a little more into the hole.
Yeah. But then another one of those 6-7 footers. Welcome to tough championship golf.
What'd you like to do on this kind of bunker shot? It's a little longer.
You know, it depends. There's a lot of sand you play it on. You can spin it. I don't know if this sand looks soft enough that I don't think you can really spin it. So now it's about just barely getting it on the green and let it just, the loft of the shot, just let it dribble down the hill. Picking a spot, trying to land it there, and that was well done.
He has a really good set of hands.
He's a terrific player. I think he's hit the most quality shots of any of the players we've seen today.
Just 1 bogey and 2 birdies. That's good enough to tie for the lead right now.
I love these slow-mo bunker shots with the explosion of sand and the ball comes out on the middle of it. Boy, that was he really clipped that beautifully.
Yeah.
Down in and then out of it quickly. That was a terrific play.
Outstanding crew here in Panama, led by Sellers Shy, Mike Crow, Libby Graham. It takes a village to put it all together.
And then the number of people who get us all these great shots and do all the work to make this happen. And it's warm out there. Kudos to everybody.
It's 93 degrees. All right, big par putt here for Miguel Ordonez, Colt.
Yeah, he needs it to keep this round somewhat intact. About 10 feet moving to his right. Oh, that was weak.
A couple of putts that we don't normally see him miss. That soft and to the right. His 2 misses the last couple holes.
Andy, I've noticed that head tends to go back right before impact and opens that face up.
Well, that one looked like it opened up dramatically.
And Colt, your impressions of Marcilio's game?
All 3 of these guys have really nice games, but Marcilio, he seems like he's got it all. Hits it really long, really high. His ball just goes through the wind different than the other players. That was some shot from the right rough here at 16.
Oh, that's excruciating right there.
And he surely reacted as if he hit it exactly where he wanted to, just overread it a smidge. But man, that was disappointing. He hit it.
Yeah,
second shot in there like that.
He'll stay at even par. And how about De La Fuente's game? We'll get to that in just a moment. But so Marcilio fits the bill of guys who've come close. They knock on that door and then they break through. We've seen it repeatedly. You get the experience under this kind of pressure. He was second at Teeth of the Dog, then Dominican Republic, and then third last year in Puerto Rico. By the way, they're going to regrass Teeth of the Dog.
Yeah. And those are 2 totally different golf courses. That tells you an awful lot about his game.
Great up and down by Santiago De La Fuente.
He's got game too.
He does. So De La Fuente stays at 1 under par, one of only 3 in red figures at 1 under. All right, Andy, off to 17.
Yeah, let's go to the 17th hole. Playing 190 today, partially because the hole location is way in the back portion of the green. Another one of these greens that has so many different levels and angles and stuff. If you can get it somewhere in that back quadrant that's fairly flat, but getting there is not going to be easy.
It's one of those shots that you really gotta try to hit maybe about 15, 12 yards before.
And scoot it up that little ridge.
Scoot it up. That's one of my favorite pins.
If you land it in that back portion, probably going to go over the green.
Or you will. That's what happened to me today.
But again, we're in that portion of the golf course, you've got a bunch of these apartment condos, office buildings where the wind blows through here and it swirls, and it's hard to judge exactly what's going to happen.
The Latin America Amateur Championship is brought to you by Delta Airlines. Delta, keep climbing. 3M Science, applied to life. And Rolex. Here we are at the 17th hole, Santa Maria Golf Club.
Even though the flagstick is blowing straight down, it doesn't mean when the ball's in the air it's going to be that direction.
Give you some notable alums of the Latin American Amateur Championship. How about Fred Biondi, NCAA individual and team champ from your alma mater, Andy, University of Florida. Nico Echeverria won the PGA Tour's Puerto Rico Open last March, played in the LAAC. We know Joaquin Niemann, he just won the Australian Open. Mito Pereira was close to the 2022 PGA. Alejandro Tosti won on the Korn Ferry Tour in August. He joins Raul Pereira as a rookie on the PGA Tour this year. So all those guys with invaluable experience through the years at the Latin American Amateur Championship.
I think the last two are playing today. In the desert? Yeah, this, just pick a spot you're trying to land on the green and then just trust it. You just cannot carry it all the way back there. That will test him. Not much green to work with.
Have to rely on that short game again. Now, Vicente Marcilio.
And Rich, this course has to give the everyday hacker all kinds of fits. This entire second nine, the water is on the right side. They donate a lot of golf balls out here at Santa Maria.
It's given these best players in the region fits too today.
But this 190, you mentioned it, probably trying to land this around 180, which is playing around 170. No more than an 8-iron for Marcilio.
Another bad miss to the right.
What do you think's going on, Omar?
about this guy's thing here?
Missing it right there. The wind.
You got the wind a little bit, maybe helping a little bit of the spin, but that past palm rough, and then you're bouncing down the green, down slope. Everything is going away from you in there.
Like you're saying, you can't feel the wind. You think it's straight behind you, but it's
but
coming
it's
more
not.
left
and
to right.
In there, it really feels, because of the building, it feels as it's going down, but it is not going down. And if you see the big flags in the back, everything is pushing right.
See if your buddy can figure this one out.
Come on.
Get it in here a little bit lower than the other two players.
I think he likes it. Come on. Oh my God.
So
can't believe it hit that softly.
Andy, as you played college golf at Florida, what did you lean on playing in the wind? What were some of the tricks?
Well, I had to learn how to play in the wind. I had no idea. I used to launch the ball 800 miles high, which is a nice thing to be able to do. But once I got down there, I had to learn how to control the spin on the ball, hit it easier, make it go lower. And then you kind of fall in love with playing that way, and it's fun. Fun playing in conditions like this day because it's really a challenge.
Let's go to the 18th hole, and Jose Islas Iona's there.
Hitting those knockdown shots, Andy.
Elevated position here for Islas. Very solid player, as you said. Rich. Wind swirling around though. It's tough to judge from this elevated point on the golf course.
Well, it's a little bit short, but that's not a bad spot there. At least he kind of bump it up the hill. holes cut there fairly closely.
He's told me that if he has a good week on the greens, he knows he will contend. And
he's a good-looking player.
Yeah, he really is.
Mexico's got a handful of guys that all look like they could win.
A couple of years ago, some of the guys, coming into the event, they used to say things like, okay, so it's 108 players, but perhaps 30 can win. That's something that people used to say. Sitting here on 2024, and you've seen the guys play. It's not like 30 can win. It's a lot of them.
Yeah, a good week by many of these players.
Many of these players.
Yep.
Yeah, give you a look one more time. Some of the notable alums of the Latin America Amateur Championship. Did not mention Sebastián Muñoz. He was a Pan American Games silver medalist recently. That was won by Abraham Answer. I know Stuart Hagestad also played in those Pan American Games. And Alejandro Tosti, you said he was so close to winning the very first one. Just, lost it late. Now, Islas at 18.
Yeah, he could have won the first 4. Yeah, pretty straightforward little pitch. That was well done. Nice way to get the day finished.
Back at 17.
He's going to have to put some air under this one. It is landing on a very severe downslope. I'm not sure he can get this one inside of 10 feet.
He's at least a little bit on the upslope, which should help. Oh my, that was well done.
That's as good as you can do from there, Andy.
And it's still 8 feet by the hole. And that hit so softly, it had quite a bit of spin on it. Just can't miss it down there.
Aaron Jarvis, this is for par at 18 on his best day. It's 7 over.
Yeah, it's been a real battle out here today. The head went down a few holes ago for Jarvis, and it's a tough day for everyone.
Finished up with 5 bogeys in his last 6 holes.
De La Fuente at 17.
Very similar type of shot. Has to throw it way up in the air. Ooh, that took a peek.
Yeah, boy, 2 beautifully played shots, and they're still grinding to make par.
You could see it there on that shot, Andy, just how nice and soft his hands are.
Yeah, he's got a lot of ability and a lot of shots. But still, 6 feet. Yeah, you put that one back in the bag and bring your brush. You've got some work to do. But he's got game, boy.
He's got to share the lead as well at 1 under par.
Look down from above. Ordonez has to putt up a pretty good slope, and it's into the green, so it's going to be very, very slow early, and then once it gets over the ridge, it picks up speed.
This is almost as difficult as those chip shots those guys just had. Has to throw way out there to the right, get it to just die over the hill.
Get up.
I don't think he's lost his turn.
With his history and his ability around the greens, some of these putts are a little bit confusing. It's just so difficult out there right now.
Now Islas for the par at 18 to get in at 3 over.
A grind, a very good grind for Islas today, and he's being watched on this final hole by Rafael Aracon. Famously coached Lorena Ochoa throughout her career, wearing his Mexican hat, watching proudly. It was not easy this afternoon.
3 over in the front, even on the back. That's a good score coming in. 73 is a good position.
Jose Islas said of the Latin America Amateur Championship very simply, it is the golden star on the calendar. Everybody in this field feels that way. And now Vicente Marcilio sizing up his putt, but he'll wait as Ordonez has this for par.
And Rich, just to echo that, I got a text from Julian Perico, who's been a staple at this championship, said he's missing it this year. It's the best tournament in the world, but we wish him best of luck in his pro career.
Another one of those coming out of Arkansas and now professional.
He's made a few mistakes we don't normally see. You know, you're playing in front of your home folks. You're trying too hard. It's tough out there. Everybody wants you to do well. Sometimes it just doesn't happen.
Right, hanging in there. This is Arzu. This for the lead.
I mean, you always, when you're playing at home, you always want to make it happen. But, and, you know, Miguel and I, we talked about it, and the guys as well. You know, hey, listen, let's just go out there. Let's just enjoy it. It's going to be a tough week. Conditions are going to be hard. Emotions are going to be right there. But at the end of the day, you
got to let it happen. You can't.
You got to let it happen.
Trying too hard is not good either.
Two bogeys in the last 3 holes for Marsilio, and he's now over par.
A couple of loose iron shots. That wedge on the 15th hole really hurt him, and just not being able to judge the breeze coming out of the left.
This is De La Fuente. Well, he's made bogey as well. And then there were two. Just two at 1 under par. One already in the house. That's Omar Morales, 69, and Jose Arzu of Guatemala has 1 hole to play.
What a comeback by Arzu. Made 3 bogeys toward the end of in a row at the end of his back 9 before he went over to the front, and he's been under par on the front. That's some great playing today. He's got the tough 9th to finish.
This 18th hole's all you want.
Terrific.
To finish up a championship.
Playing 444 today. They moved the tee up just a little bit. You'd like to take it down the right edge of this fairway. This fairway slopes dramatically from right to left. If you can hit it in that 280, 290 range, get in 160 or so yards into this green. Hole location today, right in the front. Probably the easiest hole location we'll see on this green. You can land it short of the green. You can get it up and in from 4 or 5 yards short. You land it just barely on the green. You have a great birdie opportunity. Do not want to go past the hole. Your yardage coming in there is probably the front edge of the green yardage. Cool look back. Now this is what the player looks at. Some trees on the right, and that slope you can see, that's your aiming point, just inside of that.
You really got to control the ball flag, Andy, because, you know, here the wind really pushes it into the right, and you're trying to protect that left area as well. Look at that.
Yep, hit it right on the line we wanted. It's starting to curve right, which he's shocked. Coming out of that rough, tough to get into that front right hole location.
Camera guy didn't even flinch.
That's why they only bring the best. Really a 16, 17, and 18. Great finishing stretch. You could be, on Sunday afternoon, you could be 3 or 4 shots behind, play those last 3 holes 1 under par, and be holding the trophy. Probably at the right edge of the right building would be a nice line.
That's where you want it.
Obviously, left is not good. I like that. Kept it a little bit lower. Didn't let the wind take it. Beautiful tee shot. That's
Andy,
way down there.
He's put on a driving clinic this second 9. Just missed the 1 fairway back at 16.
Yeah, Colt, I love the fact that he just looks very natural, just turns it back and lets it go. It's like there's nothing holding it back.
Yeah, he just needs to dial in those irons, and he'll be a factor this weekend.
It's a nice start, hitting it about 320 down every fairway.
Makes it easier, definitely.
No kidding. All right. He needs a birdie to tie you.
I hope he makes it.
Okay, another low bullet.
That's great.
Yeah, he ripped it.
Another good drive with a golf ball.
And Miguel Ordonez trying to finish strong here, round one in his home country of Panama. It is the opening round of the 9th playing of the Latin America Amateur Championship.
Out of this group.
Yeah,
I think these two dudes.
Yeah, I agree. So we're not going to finish these guys. Yeah. We are just about out of our allotted time here in Panama. Omar, this was great. Thank you so much. Tomorrow we get a chance to watch you, and you're right in it.
Thank you, Rick, and thank you, Andy. It wasn't only a pleasure, it was an honor. Always pretty fun to be here with you guys and see the guys playing and see what I'm gonna face tomorrow. So believe me, I was paying attention. But I appreciate you guys, and hopefully tomorrow I can put up a good show for you.
Really generous, hospitable. We love your country, and we're looking forward to the next 3 days. Omar Tejera. Omar Morales will see plenty of the young Mexican standout tomorrow. He's tied with Jose Arzu on a difficult day. Just 2 players right now in red figures, Andy.
Yeah, golf course won today. Very, very difficult conditions, some great hole locations. If you can just stay around par all week long, you get to the back 9, anything can happen on Sunday. So patience, and some more patience.
All right, great thanks once again to Sellers Shy, Mike Crow, leading all of the hardworking women and men in the truck and on the ground. For Andy North and Colt Knost, Iona Stephen, and John Sutcliffe, I'm Rich Lerner saying so long for now from Panama and round 1 of the Latin America Amateur Championship. We'll see you on Friday afternoon.